We had PTSD from it because it was, I think, our first one.
Yeah.
And I looked down and it wasn't recording. And we had to redo. We had to redo like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, I thought we handled it well. We picked up right where we left off, I feel like, but it was stressful.
It was. It stressed me the frig out. So.
Oh my God.
All right. Funny. So podcast number 8. All right.
That's right.
Hopefully by the time people see this one, they'll see podcast number 7. Okay?
I'll post it today, I promise.
Yeah.
What's number 7?
Yours.
Oh.
She's been holding out. She's been holding out.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Right?
I didn't know.
And she kept saying, I just, and it was busy because it was before the comp. She's got, I got to make the intro clip.
I was like, what's number 7?
So
Kelly's like, I forgot about
I
that.
thought I was like number 6 or 5.
No.
I can't remember
No,
how many
you were
y'all
7,
did.
yeah.
Guess what I did yesterday? Because she was saying she hadn't posted it because she needed to do her intro clip for Instagram, right?
He made the clips.
I made a clip and
It
sent it
looks
to her. She's
good.
like, oh, that's awesome. I'll post it now.
Well, so, okay, let me be fair. This is what I was thinking, right? So I said, like, yeah, I'll post it now, but there is an optimal time to post where you get the most engagement.
I know.
So I was trying to wait for that time.
When
And
is
then
that
you
time?
forgot.
6:30 in the
Yeah,
evening.
that's when
and then I forgot.
People probably put their kids down or just got done dinner and they start
Yeah,
scrolling.
6 o'clock in the afternoon, 6:30, or like noon, because people are at lunch, like watching, looking at their phones, or like first thing when you wake up.
was the
But I'm
first
not
thing
gonna do
when-
that either.
First thing when you wake up, I feel like.
Yeah. So I will post it tonight. I promise.
I'm going to set an alarm for 6:30.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna text
it
you.
is
I'm gonna text
Friday,
you.
11:03, and I promise to post it tonight.
Yeah, because I remember on the last one, you were like, she's coaching tomorrow for the first time. And that was,
That was a while ago.
yeah.
Yeah. How are we supposed to get Kelly famous if
I
you don't
think
post
it's
it?
on the
I'm
mic.
good.
So,
I
all right.
don't-
So today we're going to talk about a recap of the Trident Games. All Grid Athletics' first official comp of theirs.
Yes.
And how it went, everything that went into it, and
Yeah.
what we might do next time.
Yeah,
So,
it was fun.
all right. So I didn't have
You. I
didn't-
don't know if it was fun for you. I told you, I was like, you need some blood pressure medication,
You
man.
okay?
I thought
Are
you were
you
going to stroke
breathing?
out. Well, I thought it was funny because nobody knew that you're like, cheerleading's going to be here at 12. We have to be done.
I'm like, we
And
have
I
to
was
go.
like, oh, that's why we have
Like,
to be
oh,
done.
God.
I thought you were just like, we have to be done. And I
No,
was
like we have to go.
All right. So I said I didn't have a would you rather. So what was you say?
Yeah.
What was the question you came up with?
What sport are you most
what's-
afraid to
well,
play?
I already told you guys, but I'll tell them bowling. I'm scared. I'm definitely scared that my finger is going to go down the lane with the ball.
Have like you seen that somewhere, or is that just what you think?
Maybe.
seen
I just in my mind, like, because I've never been able to find a bowling ball that fits.
Fits your fingers?
Yeah.
Or so you're the person that just does like these fingers and no thumb? Or
Oh, I'm a 2.
No, I tried it because then I feel like
Let
I
me
can't
stop.
hold on to stupid things. So
Well,
then
no,
I've
'cause
done
there's
it where
people who have,
I've
like-
done it with no. I'll go get one of the
Some
little
people just
kids'
put their
balls.
thumb
that are
in.
like
And some people
8
don't do
pounds,
fingers and they
I
just
don't do
spin it.
Yeah,
fingers.
some people just put their thumb
Then
in
I
too.
just rip it, but it
That's what my
flies
cousin
like
does.
20
To
feet
bounce
down the
it.
lane,
Oh,
and then it
Jesus.
hits, and then I
Cracks
get
the
yelled
floor.
at
Yeah,
by.
and they're like, get out of here.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah. So bowling for me.
Scary.
It's your question, so Melissa can go next.
Okay, good, because I need a minute.
I don't know. Like, I don't want to do like. I think I'm pretty afraid to play football.
That wouldn't be that bad.
I think I could wrestle. I'd be fine with that. But like, just getting trucked. I think about like
Trucked.
a 300-pound man
like
coming at me,
You
and
could
that
be like
scares me.
a defensive back hitting somebody else. You don't have to be the person getting hit. You could do the
Kelly,
hit.
Yeah,
I ain't
but-
got it in me.
Yeah, but Melissa, imagine her trying. I'm the fullback, and she's trying to tackle me.
If Chris is coming at me at full speed,
I mean,
I'm
that's
out.
a co-ed sport. I'm just saying. I might not be able to do co-ed either, but yeah, I don't know.
I feel like if it was women, I'd be okay if it was women. I'm thinking like I'm in the NFL and I'm trying to block
I wouldn't wanna do
Marshawn
that
Lynch
either,
coming
though.
down the field with the football. Ain't no chance.
No,
No chance.
I
I'm
wouldn't-
stepping out of the way.
I wouldn't want to do that either if I was going to the NFL. But then again, I don't know. See, I'm like X Games snowboarding or like skateboarding.
Ooh.
Like you fall on skateboarding trying to do like
That's
or
true.
whatever you're
Those
doing,
half
and
pipes?
it's like your arm.
So
It's
is your
just gone. Like,
skateboarding?
Yeah, probably like road rash, broken arm. 'Cause,
That's true, that's
what
a
was
good
it, the
point.
last Olympics in Japan, there was some guy that was still competing, and he just broke his arm 2 weeks ago, like 2 weeks
Yeah.
prior, and he was like with the cast, and I'm like, nope,
Nope.
I'm good.
That's
Nope.
dedication.
I'm
though.
afraid
Yeah.
of a lot of things. I can't even lie to you. I don't want to skydive. I wouldn't do that. Half pipes.
But then those people also like because it's funny because Marty was talking to me about that in class this morning because he's really trying to work on his overhead, and he's like it's frustrating. But then I think about where I started from, and he saw a quote from Usain Bolt, and he was like, oh, like you've trained for how long to do this? He's like, I trained for 4 years, for 9 seconds.
For 9 seconds.
And I was like, but think
love
about
that
it.
quote.
I was like, not even him, but I was like, what if you train for 4 years for 9 seconds, but you false start? and you don't even compete, and then you got to go another 4 years to make the next one. Like, do you give up or do you keep going? Like, he trained for 4 years to be there. I wouldn't have let that broken arm stop me either. I'd
Yeah,
probably
that's
be
true.
like,
You know
let's
what?
go.
Touche. That's right.
The only thing is like balance wise on a skateboard,
That's
that's
gotta be
gonna like
weird. Yeah, 'cause
weigh
you're
you down a
heavier.
little bit, you know.
Those guys are so good, though. I'm sure it
know.
made a difference, but they can counteract it.
That's like crazy though. Yes, it's got to be like skate anything where I mean they got like elbow pads and stuff, but no, if I'm like face planting in concrete, that's gonna be a little.
All right, so that's the sport you're scared of. So I got
Yeah.
one then. What else are you scared of? I'm scared of bugs.
Really?
Yes, I do not
didn't
like,
know
especially
that.
like spiders.
No, don't go to Japan, bro.
I do not like spiders.
The huntsman
I do not
spiders?
like spiders.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you were in Sasebo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What am I scared of? Well, I just said I was scared of a lot of things, like skydiving. I'm afraid to die alone. I don't like spiders. I don't like snakes. I'm okay with bugs.
So you're okay to die as long as you're not alone?
I just don't want to it seems stupid, right? But my biggest fear is like I'll die alone and like have no one. Like not even like alone, like by myself, like no one.
Comes to your funeral type of thing.
Yeah, like no one to share it with, which sounds stupid, but I don't know.
Have you
I don't
ever
wanna
seen?
die
So
alone.
have you ever seen the movie? And this is a Disney movie, so you might have it, but I have. Coco, was it Coco Loco? Or I can't even remember. So basically, this kid, it's like crosses over in the Day of the Dead, and like
yeah.
and like they're like, no, you stay alive until the last person dies that remembers you, and it's like, how much impact have you had in your life? Like, are you officially dead until
a
that
Disney
last
movie?
person?
I know that's a deep
movie.
Disney movie.
Yo, it's crazy, but it's like really good. There's like, how much of an impact have you made on how many people in your
Yeah,
lives?
like,
Like,
that's what
do
I
they
think
remember
about.
you? Do they pass
Yes.
on your memories? Stuff like that.
Because like it's not like dying alone, like physically by myself, but like sharing death with people is like it's kind of a cool thing, right? Like it's a part of life, it's a part of the process, and like people that actually care about you and like are like ushering you into the next life. I don't know.
No, I get it.
I don't want to die alone.
I get it.
But once you're dead, you're dead. You won't even care because you're dead.
Sam's laughing at me in the
Yeah,
background.
that's okay. He can. All
You
right.
said bugs?
Yeah, bugs.
What are you scared of, Kelly?
Man, there's probably a lot of stuff, and I haven't thought about it.
Okay, how about this? Did you become more scared of things after you had your
Oh
son?
my God, you can just say that right
Yeah,
away. Like,
yeah.
I was so, and it probably had something to do with hormones. and
Just a little bit.
postpartum. But like, we were in Japan, and I would look at him at like a month, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna grow up and he's gonna leave me, and I'm starting to cry, and I'm like, he's like 1 month, chill, and I'm like,
Bridget can relate to you right
yeah,
now.
but I'm like, he's gonna grow up and he's gonna move out, and I'm just gonna be mom, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so sad. But yeah, it would definitely be losing my son. Like,
Yeah.
I could
Oh,
not
yeah.
even fathom that thought. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my husband to death, but like, if
Yeah.
we lost our son,
He's replaceable.
if I lost I carried that child for 10 months.
That's my baby.
Yeah, it'd be like, it'd be him. It would be, it'd be
I would
him.
just like to say Kelly did not say that. Okay, Chris put words into her
There's no
mouth.
words in my mouth. But yeah, it would definitely probably be losing my son. Like daycare just called me literally before we got here. They're like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to call you and let you know. He's trying to learn how to kick balls, and he thinks stepping on him is kicking him sometimes. And so he stepped on a toy and he fell and he crashed and hit a bus toy on his face. And they're like, he's got a mark. I was like, is it a cut? And they were like, no. And I'm like, he's fine. It's
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
And my husband's like, what? And he's like, he's the super overprotective one. He'll be like, don't
Oh,
let him
really?
stand on the sofa. He'll fall. And I'm like, he gonna learn?
He'll learn not to
I was
stand on
like,
the
he'll
sofa.
do it again.
It's what I'd call self-correcting.
Yeah, because I was like, at
Yeah.
least he's gonna fall on the carpet. I was like, he's gonna try and climb trees one day, and we won't be there to catch him. So
That's it.
You know?
That's it.
Dang.
All right. Now people are going to bring bugs in here and try to scare me with them.
No,
it's
don't you
nothing
be
like-
bringing
Fake bugs.
Fake
Hey,
bugs
but
is
it's
okay.
nothing like the 1 foot long centipedes that were in Africa when I was over there.
really?
Oh my God.
No.
they
I was
like the ones in
terrified.
Japan that were poisonous.
I don't know. I didn't want to find out. And there was no internet. I couldn't Google it.
Do you had to sit through the little thing before you go to like Japan? The little, what is it, the in-dock where you're like,
No.
these bugs and blah blah blah. Yeah, that's
They don't care about active duty people. They only care
My
about
husband had to do it while
dependent.
they were on the ship on the way over.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a ship guy. We were just up there in Sasebo waiting to do stuff. So
I had to take it in order to go out off base. They were like, you
Oh,
have to
really?
take it or you can't leave the base. I was like, all right. So,
that's crazy.
yeah.
All right. So let's get into the comp. So how many Trident games has there been?
So I think when it was Burn Fit, they hosted one in 2019, I don't think they hosted one the year of COVID, like 2020 when COVID started. I think there's been 3. I think. I don't know if that's accurate.
Including ours this year?
Ours would be 4.
Okay.
So I think they had 3 prior to that, if I'm remembering correctly. I apologize if that's not right to the people that organized them. I know of at least 2, and I think they did 1 year that I wasn't there. So this would be number 4 for like the Trident, we'll say name event.
But it's also changed a lot because I know when it first came out, it was more of I mean, you could still say CrossFit, but it was more like Tough Mudder type events. Like they had walls they would climb over because they used to
Walls in
train.
the back.
They used to train at that gym to do stuff like that.
Yeah,
like Tough Mudder stuff.
And it was called like Trident Fitness Festival, I think.
Yeah.
I think when Connor and Jess and Jake kind of took it over, that's when it took more of a CrossFit-y competition vibe.
So once you bought the gym over there, did you know right away you wanted to do a comp?
No, I didn't.
Were you more concerned with remodeling?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't want to do a comp, especially not in year 1. Like everyone thinks it's cool.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is cool and it's fun and it's a great experience, like as part of the gym and for the people. But there's just so much work that's just unnecessary. Not unnecessary because I think it's stupid or irrelevant, but unnecessary stress that I don't need in the first year of owning a gym.
That's why I said, I was like, you remodeled a gym in literally the month before.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a lot of work, especially because you can't control contractors.
Nope.
Like they can tell you a date, but they might not finish. And then you're like, well, I had this set for this date. So what do we do?
Yeah. And that was what we told them. We're like, look, it has to be done by this date. If it's not, you better have as many people here as you need to get it done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't expecting to do a comp the first year. That was not on my radar.
So what made you decide to do it then?
A lot of the members were like really excited about it. Like, are we going to host Trident this year? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? And then Sam and I started talking about it a bit, and there was things that we wanted to change because obviously we weren't in charge of it the other years that it was held, and things that we thought would be cool to do as a competition for the gym. And since we had already done Trident, it was like, well, we might as well just play off of that, so to speak, and use that as our opportunity to do these things that we think are really cool for a competition. Which, in hindsight, we've always wanted to build a competition off the games workouts. It's like that video someone sent me the other day. Like the coaches coaching and trying to brief the workout, and the person in the background's dropping things on the Echo bike. But it was an easy and perfect time to just channel that idea into something. And just like I said in the opening day of the comp, let's be honest, all of us try to do the games workouts after they come out, or at least some version of them. So why not use that as the play and make this our games in the Hampton Roads area? So
It went well though.
No,
it
I
worked
think it
well.
went
yeah,
very
I
well.
really like the hardest part was picking the workouts. Because at the games they have access to any equipment they want, anything. They have an unlimited
Limited
supply of equipment, and
Money.
we'll say money and helpers.
Maybe not for t-shirts.
Yeah,
but
for t-shirts, I'm still gonna tag CrossFit Games and everything about that. But they have all this accessibility to things. So the hardest part was choosing the workouts that we wanted to do. That number one, we could feasibly do, and then number two, that we're well-rounded. Because that's a big complaint I have about comps in our area. Is I don't feel like a lot of comps are well-rounded, and they try to squeeze too many things into one day, which is why we ended up on 2 days.
You mean it's more heavyweight bar, predominantly a heavy bar, or more cardio based, or
Yeah,
it's
it's
not evenly distributed?
Yeah,
or
all of a
just
sudden
gymnastics?
every workout has gymnastics, and it's
Yeah.
okay, that's cool, but that's not the only thing that we do.
Yeah.
Or every workout will have a super heavy leg dominant.
Yeah.
And it's I'm wrecked at the end of the day for that, number one, because I've probably overworked muscles. And then number two, it doesn't really find you the person that's the fittest because you're not testing
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of the comps. 'Cause I think I've either competed in or coached somebody or something in pretty much every comp that's around this area at some point. And a lot of them, not all of them, it's like they try to get, it's overly complicated. Like they try to put 5 or 6 movements in each thing, or they're 20 minutes
don't
long.
have to
and
be
it's
that
just
big.
like, it doesn't have to get crazy, and it can just be simple.
Yeah.
Right.
And I liked that you decided not to do. I would have been okay if we did a final, but I was
Yeah.
glad you
Yeah.
didn't, because
Yeah.
what does it
It
matter?
worked.
What does it
Yeah.
matter? The people
And
that are
then
winning are winning.
The
like,
thing I hate the most is the floaters. I hate a floater.
Oh, that you don't know.
It's just like, only one time was it ever like even beneficial, one year at a comp where the floater was just straight cardio and it was fine, and we got there first and we were able to sign up, and like our first regular heat was at like 9:30 or 10 or something like that, and we did the floater at like 8:05. So it was perfect. It was like we warmed
warm
up.
up,
But so often, like everybody's kind of getting jacked up with that floater,
Yeah.
and it's just like, why do you need like
Why?
7, 8,
Yeah.
9 scores in something, and you're just creating more problems with
More
Now you need
hassle.
more tiebreakers and more equipment and
well,
more
and the
judges.
thing is, and judges, like, and that's the thing too. Like, it's not even just equipment; it's volunteers and judges. Like, you
Yes.
need people to like move weight or move equipment and judge, and you don't just let anybody judge. And then like, and and so it's a lot of manpower that goes into it, and a lot of the times it's volunteers.
Yeah.
and so that's hard to find on a weekend
Yep.
because people have lives, and so. But I think it went very well. Like, not even just for the athletes, but for the judges, how the workouts were set up. Like, you put an upper body intensive and then a lower body intensive workout, and then you had the ollie. So it was kind of like we worked or like primed
You both
our
got
upper body,
taxed,
and
yeah.
then we worked and primed our lower body, and then like Paige was like, I felt warm and I felt like I was gonna PR my clean and jerk, and so, and we had some big numbers on the ollie, and then but for judges as well, that first workout, like mentally trying to go from movement to movement and judge, and by the time the last workout came for ollie, it was like, okay, this is easy.
It's kind of
to
like a
watch.
relaxing.
Yeah. And then the next day was like a flush. You had a little bit of a run, and you had some gymnastics and stuff. But like, and then that last workout was just go
Full speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the workouts you chose and then the order you put them in was very well chosen.
Yeah, I didn't, in my head, I didn't really envision the way workout 5 was going to go as far as the feel of it.
Yeah.
It was sick because
It was hype.
And then to realize the way we were running it, like as soon as one heat was done, I was yelling out, clear the lanes,
Yeah.
next heat. And it was cool that we just kept like pumping through it, and
That
people
was a
were
fun
sending
one.
it.
Yeah, like I didn't expect. Everyone always expects the lifts to be like the most hype, and the
Yeah.
lift was hype. But I thought that workout was the most fun to watch and be a part of because of the natural like sprint nature of it. Like people were, and I like that we made the lanes close. Like I wanted people to see their competitor like
Yeah.
breathing down their neck,
Looking
kind
at
of
the
thing.
rower like, what are you pulling?
What are you
over
rolling?
there?
Yeah, like it was. I really liked that event.
Yeah.
Seeing people dead on the floor, that was fun.
That's
Yeah.
why I was like, man, you need to take a video and put it as like for next year's games. Like,
And it was cool
come
that,
back.
that there wasn't a lot of variance between scaled to RX as far as the movements.
Nope.
Just a couple things were a little bit different, but they just kept getting faster and faster. And I was watching each heat go by, and
just
I'm like, these dudes, these RX people are going to go down to sub 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think the team that won was like almost a minute and a half in
Yeah.
the sprint part. I was like,
Yeah,
wow.
Justin,
Yeah.
the guys
Yeah.
I judged from Rife, they did it
They
in like
were
140.
That man's
flying.
burpees were insane.
Yeah.
Like his burpee box jump overs were fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't even really standing up. It was insane.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, I like that. And it's crazy because I don't know. You envision all the things, you hope for all this, and like we've seen it at the games, right? Because that's where we got the workouts from. So you kind of have an idea of how you want it to go. But then actually seeing it in person and being there, it was cool.
It was. All right. So, how did you come up with those workouts? Do you remember?
Yeah, so like when we were at the games, we had already knew we were gonna do Trident games, and so
You just got to roll with it.
I know when we were there, I had already was like, okay, I want to think about the workouts,
Yeah.
and then obviously there's things like the logs. We're not gonna have logs, so just scratch that entirely. I didn't want to change the workouts too much from the games because then you're kind of taking away the novelty of it. So I thought about that and then pretty much just wrote down a list as we were there all weekend, the workouts that we liked and what we thought were feasible and what we thought would be good tests like across the board. And so once we had that list, it was like, they had, 13 workouts? It was like 7 of the 13 workouts we wrote down. And so once we had that, we were like, okay, well, what's feasible in the gym? Because if we want to do ring muscle ups, we'll say, do I want to go adjust all those rings? Do I want to do that? Like, there are some things that I wish I'd have done a little bit differently for some of the workouts, but that was a big one. So it was like, okay, well, we can't do rings. We don't really want to tackle that hassle right now. We only have 4 sets. That's small heats, blah, blah, blah. So after, like, equipment and, like, is this even feasible in the gym, we kind of settled on ones that we liked, and we thought, like you said, like, touched upper body, touched our skills, touched our gymnastics, touched our endurance, touched our strength. Like, wanted to just have a very well-versed group of events, too.
Yeah. The only one that was even moderately complicated would be the first one.
I agree.
Because it just had several things. Because you know,
Yeah.
because we went from handstand walks
To handstand holds.
To handstand
straight
holds.
handstand push-ups, burpee pullovers, and
Yep.
then back through it.
Yep.
right. And I'm glad you put burpee pullover. I'm glad with that day we kind of
I know, I really
switched
like
it
that, yeah.
from toe to bar
Yep.
to burpee pullovers, just because everybody does toe to bar pretty much.
Yeah.
You know.
I thought that made
in-
the
and
workout
the toes to
different.
bar were in the last workout too, so you'd
Yep.
like to try not to repeat it
Repeat
if you're
work.
only
Yep.
doing.
Yep.
I thought those were really cool. And
Everybody
I'm
did
like,
really good too. I was impressed
Yeah.
how many people had them.
Yeah.
I didn't like. I like the idea of burpee pullovers too, to like make the movement a little bit longer and like force you to,
Finish the rep.
like finish the standard.
Because
Yeah.
like when you're supposed to lock out at the top, but if you're cycling burpee pullovers, a lot of people might not get here. Like they'll be here and then they want the swing and they just automatically start.
Yep.
But you're like, you have to do
You
the
have to
burpee,
do the
so
burpee,
I have to
you
come down.
I
So
liked that.
And it wasn't hard to judge either.
No.
People did a good job on that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a cool one.
It was actually kind of the things that you would think by now people would understand them. Like, we didn't have too many issues judging, but there was a wall walk incident.
yeah,
That
I
one
was next
funny.
to it.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was interesting because I was like, he was getting so mad, and I was right next to Davis judging them, and I was like, I've just no-repped our people 7 times on wall walks for the same thing.
Yeah, mind you,
And
our
you're
people, our
arguing-
members.
Our
Yeah.
members, and I'm like, you're arguing, and you're doing the same thing as them,
Yeah.
and I just no-rep them 7 times.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting mad, but you're just wasting your own time in this workout. Like,
Yep.
I don't know. Like, that's why I was telling, I think it was Kaylin this morning. Caitlin, I was like, I feel like there's nice judges and then there's standard judges. And like, I was like, I'm kind of like a nice judge. Like, you know, you as an athlete, like the one team that didn't show up for the breakdown of the workout that
Yeah.
when we had to add a heat on the second day, I was like, you know, as an athlete, you should be there for the workout breakdown. You should know the standards. Like, as a judge, I could just say, hey, my name is Kelly. Do you have any questions? If you don't have any, then we're done. But I come up and I'm like, all right, just make sure that we're doing it. Like, this is what we're looking for on this standard to make sure they know. Because, honestly, it also saves me the time, too. Because in the middle of the workout, if they're like, what, and they get mad at me, I don't want to deal with it either. And we've already had that conversation. But I don't have to do that.
Yeah, you
I
don't have to do that.
No,
Nope.
I don't, but I do it, and even then, I'm still no repping you. Like, so we've already had that conversation, and you know, so
The warnings were given. We said in the briefs that
Yeah.
if the rep was in question, it was going to be a no rep.
And
There
I'll
was-
give some people the benefit of the doubt. If I could do some things differently, I would let them know when workout briefs were going to be a little bit sooner for like the second day. But also, like, it's not my responsibility. I've told
You
there were
posted
people
it.
that there.
You
Yeah, there were people
posted it.
there. They showed up on time. If you're not there because of whatever reason, then you kind of forfeit your ability to
Well,
question me.
you put out the heat times for the second day, right?
Yeah.
At like
She
9
posted it
o'clock the
online,
night
that's what I
before, which
said.
I feel like, okay, like I'll give you some grace. I could have done that sooner. But still, it's your
But even
responsibility
then-
to know the
I
movements,
think
not
it's
me.
fair to assume if we're starting, or if you know the heat times, I'd probably need to be there an hour or more.
Yeah, but
beforehand.
even then, like if you've done at least, I would assume that most people who did this comp have done the open once, and so like, and that's what we talked about. Like when we do handstand walks wall walks in class, there's no tape on the floor, and so naturally, instinctively, your body might be move those hands first and then do the feet. And so now, when we have that tape, you really have to think about like I have to move my feet first before I move
Yep.
my hand, and so. You actually have to think about it and not just do it. And so, and then the same thing for the handstand push-ups with the line.
The
Like
line
the
got
box used
people
to be
messed
the
up.
stand, and that's the thing because, and I do it too. I'm guilty of it. When I do handstand push-ups, I set my hands where I feel like they should go, and then when I get in the bottom, I might adjust because I don't feel right. And then like I had a girl do that, and she adjusted her hand, and her hand went off, and I was like, you got to put that thumb back on. You got to put something on her. It's not going
Yeah.
to count. And so, and I'm guilty of it too. And I'm like, man, that tape. Is, and that's what Caitlin was like, that tape is so close to the wall, like it's hard
the
for
10
me to,
inches is I like the standard. I think it's usable for a lot of things that we do up against the wall, but it will show
Your
who
weakness.
is practicing that
Yeah.
year round.
So are you glad we went with my standard versus the box that you wanted to do?
I mean, which for setup alone,
it was easier.
1,000 times
Yeah.
easier. I think that's the standard we're going to see going forward
Well, that
for
was
a lot of things.
that was the standard for the Open
this
last year
Yep,
for the
and
handstand
it's-
push-ups.
and at semifinals.
Yeah.
And at quarterfinals because they had that line in every single part of
I didn't
the
have.
Open.
I didn't honestly have a preference on which way to do it. I didn't care.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking logistics.
Logistics,
And
yeah, setup wise.
that was the most current
standard.
standard.
Exactly.
You know, and it's,
Yeah, you're playing with fire. If you like, we could have gone back to the old one, which I like better. But also, if that's not the accurate standard, then why are we
Yeah.
doing it?
yeah, and it's easy to judge too because as long as some part of your
Yep.
hand or
However
fingertip
you
is
like to
touching
do
that
it.
piece of tape.
Well, especially for that whole workout, it was all about the tape. Like the freestanding handstand box and then the handstand walks, your fingers can't touch the tape. But on the push-ups, it has to touch the, tape. And the
yep.
wall walks, it has to be on the
Yeah.
tape. Like, so it's just kind of like the tape is either your friend or it's not in certain movements. So you got to keep track of the tape. Like, and I was off to the side and I was like, finger on the tape, no rep. And I was like, sorry, bro, go back.
Yeah, you gotta do it. It is what it is.
And they'd be like, what?
So
I
many
don't
people
know.
kicked up. I'll say that workout. It surprised me. So many people kicked up for their handstand walks with their fingers on the wall.
I know, that's why I said I know where
I'm
so many
like,
people
I
for
don't
that.
understand. Like,
And they didn't even notice.
And
They'd
they
be
would
like,
kick
what?
up and do it again right after.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
take a 2 inches. It's not that hard. Like that
Yeah.
blew my mind.
One person they kicked up and I yelled to the judge. I'm like,
Finger.
and that person literally held the handstand, pulled their finger off the tape.
Go for it.
And then
That's
then went-
impressive.
yeah.
That's,
That's
go
impressive.
ahead.
I mean,
Counts.
yeah, it works. It works. Would you have changed anything about any of the workouts?
The only thing that I would change, and not like the workout itself, I really liked all the workouts. I thought they were a very good group.
I liked them.
fitness. But what I would change is those jumping movements that we did. I didn't like having to get all those risers. I
Oh.
didn't like that setup. And I don't know what's the right way to do it, but that was just a pain.
Talking about like the
The
jumping.
jumping chest.
The jumping chest bar and the jumping.
But I also feel like it was a
pull-ups.
good,
It was a
I
good.
feel it was a good scale.
Yeah, I thought so too. It was just like
a lot of
too
setup.
much, and that's just a lesson learned, right? Like too much in between workouts for a 3-minute transition. Like maybe next year, if we do something like that, it's like you're responsible for bringing over the riser that you need. The bars in the warm-up area are the same heights as the one over in the workout area, so you have to take your responsibility to find your riser, and then we'll go from there. I don't know.
I think it went okay. I think
Yeah,
all you.
I think it was fine.
My opinion, what I would do is just maybe we have more transition.
Yeah,
or
have a little bit more transition time.
for that entire session. Maybe we build in 30 minutes of oh shit room.
Yeah.
Because we know.
At
We
least-
brought ourselves back both
Yeah.
days when we got a little bit off.
And you had to add that extra heat in the first day.
Yeah, and
so,
we still came back from that pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to the volunteers. Like everyone that was on the equipment team, everyone that was volunteering, like getting everything staged, like
They were
freaking-
moving fast.
yeah,
They
like,
were, like-
thankful for them 100 times over.
Yeah, especially in the Ollie workout because they were just having to move those plates
Yes.
back all
And,
the
I mean,
time.
it just takes time, right?
They probably
Yeah.
reset the floor each time in about a minute or
Oh
less.
yeah, it was like, thank you, Roberto, for leading
Yeah,
that charge.
Crushed it.
But like everyone did a super great job. If I could say anything about the whole event was like the volunteers killed it. Like absolutely
Yeah.
crushed it. I cannot say how thankful I am for them.
Yeah, I'm not saying one volunteers did more than other, but I would say of all of them, if it wasn't for the equipment team,
The equipment team-
people,
oh, yeah.
it wouldn't have went as
No.
good as it
And
did.
you know, like we've been to big events, right? And like I think about that because they have the most work.
Yeah.
and the least amount of thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they make that place go round. If you go to big events and you watch that equipment team, it looks like ants. Just everyone hits the floor, they line up, they walk out, they get their things taken care of, they come right back out, and it's just like boom, bam, we are on a schedule.
Yeah.
And I was really appreciative of our equipment team, like taking it that seriously.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. Like, and that's what helped us stay on track, which is a big pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, I thought of one thing, and it was right. I think we were about halfway through the event when we did Helena. Is remember when we were working through the logistics of it? We were talking about how do we even up the running lane,
Yeah.
like who goes outside. I thought of it afterwards. What we should have done is how we had all those cones set up.
Put 'em out.
We could have still left one cone down there that everybody has to go around. But we could have set
Stagger
up
start.
well, not stagger, but have it so like lane one
Goes the
to
furthest
the closest
lane.
cone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lane 2 goes to the front, like that way it was.
That's what they thought it was, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, we set it up so if you were higher standings in the first day, you get closest to the door. But honestly, at the end of the day, like
That
they
wasn't
were
the
able to
money
put
No,
maker.
in-
it's not.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not like if I'm just talking like getting down to because I thought
Getting down
at
to
the end of the
brass
day
tacks.
we did so well on setting things up and running things
Yeah.
that like if you have to find some things to fix,
I know. I
That-
that
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
be the thing I would
agree.
That's
say
all right.
we
We
could
don't
have
need to do
fixed
that. You just need to buy some True Runners by next year, and we'll be okay.
and just
if I
send
had
it on
more people
those.
sign up for trying again.
Donation
No,
to the
I
gym.
really would love to have some of those. That would be.
All
We've
you
never
need-
seen those in a
all you need is, like,
workout.
5. You just need 5.
Yeah, they're not that. That's only like 10 grand.
Yeah, I've only had those one time in a local comp, and that was up at
Those
Grit?
are gnarly.
no, not at Grit. It was at Gangs of the Mid Atlantic.
Oh yeah, Gangs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so true. Gangs ran a tight ship as well.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked them when they did theirs.
Yeah, did you were there any of the workouts you wish you wouldn't have done, or wish you would have done something different?
I like them all.
Yeah, I don't think so. And maybe I'm just like married to my own ideas, I guess. I mean, I didn't make the workouts. Like the games made the workouts. I don't know. I really liked them. I like that we got a variance of machines and like cardio, as far as like running, the biker, the rowers.
I think you hit and you
I
hit a
feel like
lot
we
of
hit
different
a lot
movements.
of things.
You know,
Yeah.
the other
Like-
funny one to watch though is because I tested it and I know what it felt like.
Was them sandbags.
When there's a sandbag one watching everybody run when you get done with that sandbag and you got to go back to the C2
And
bike.
everyone's like waddling. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
I like that one too in the setup wise of like
Mm-hmm.
we're close quarters, we're dropping our bags, I can see where my competitor is. Like that was a fun one to
Yeah.
watch too.
And I thought some people might think that one was boring because everybody wants all the sexy movements.
Yeah.
But I actually from some
But the standard,
pretty-
the
some really-
basic ones are also
but the
really
ones
good.
The athletes that I respect and that are really good athletes, they actually a lot of them said that was one of their favorite workouts.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite workouts, and then the last workout. Like as far as a spectator, I thought those two were the most fun workouts to watch, just
Mm-hmm.
because of the tight nature of what was happening, and everyone was close in time. It wasn't like anyone ran away with anything.
Right.
Because,
Right.
like for instance, the higher skill workouts, if you don't have strict handstand push-ups, you're getting stuck. It is
Yeah.
what it is. But those workouts, like the grunt workouts, where everyone can do the movements, that's where
You find
the real
out who's
fitness
really
happens.
good.
Yeah.
And we didn't have too many major hiccups, right? We
I
had
think we did.
we had one group in
did pretty
co-ed
good.
intermediate where one of the girls swore that we made her run a fifth lap.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But the girl
Yeah.
from her own gym was like they're on their 4th.
Yeah,
Like,
well, so
Yeah.
we went down and talked to John at the end, and he's like, "Nah, I don't think they ran 5." So I mean, she's just, I get it.
Yeah.
You're mad. You think you ran
Yeah.
5. I told her, I was like, "Hold on." I said, "I'm gonna go look at scores."
Yeah.
Right. And what I did is I went and looked at all
Times,
the scores at
yeah.
the time. Well, I looked at not just their time compared to everybody else, but I also looked at the other events
Yeah.
and their times compared to everybody
Everyone
else.
else.
And the time domains of where they were placing in each time
Basically
was
sat where
about
they
the
were at.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you can't tell me that all of a sudden in the running event it probably was
You exponentially-
had the most
yeah.
cardio piece that all of a sudden you're 90 seconds
Faster,
slower,
whatever. Yeah, slower,
and you
yeah.
should have been 90 seconds faster than everybody else. And I just told her, I was like, look,
They still won. They still
What
got
made
second.
me, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what made me comforted, right? I was like, regardless of, if you were faster, if you did really run an extra lap, like, okay, and I'm sorry, right? Like we we need to make sure that we're keeping tabs on that a little bit better.
Well,
on our
Damien,
end.
but that's the thing. Damien did tell
said-
him.
yeah,
He
he
said
was
he
like,
told him
"You
the number,
ran-"
and then even Colby was like, "You told
Told
them
them.
to last time, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, thank you." I
And
thought
the
I was
thing
gonna
of it
bring
is,
Yeah, he
it's
had
like-
check marks on his
Yeah.
paper too.
regardless, like they were coming in second. It's
Yeah.
not like if they went up the leaderboard in that workout, it would have changed their placement of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what made me feel like, hey, you know what? Like, even if they're upset about the event, it didn't change someone on the podium.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what made me feel that. Because that's what, at the end of the day, right? Like, we want to make sure we get the podiums right. We obviously don't want to mess up workouts either, but they would have still been in second.
Yeah.
And if they were any lower, they might have been in third, but they wouldn't have been in first regardless. They
Yeah.
had too many points to make up to be in first.
Yeah.
So I was okay. I mean, it is what it is.
And that was a run that was a little different, but then also that's also like I said, if you have questions in the beginning, you always should ask your judge because like, and if you want to keep track every time, like one more, two more, like every single
Tell me what
lap,
you wanna
asking.
hear. Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you don't know or if you feel like your judge isn't telling you how many more do I have, because I'll ask like to make sure, you know, because stuff does happen, you know, like there's a lot going, especially in that first workout where we have to like worry about. We're in front of them for the handstand walk, and then we have to move to the side, and then their holding box changes, and then all this stuff changes, and we're trying to judge while they stay in the hold, their partner stays in the holding box.
Yeah,
and
it's
there's
a
like,
lot.
it's a lot to keep track of. And then they're like, in the wall walks, I'm no repping, and I'm like using my fingers to be like, all right, you're on number 3, because they're asking me why am I getting no repped, and I'm trying to explain, and I don't want to forget the number that they're on. So I'm like, you got to
Yeah,
touch your
you're-
hand finger on the tape.
you're trying to watch your
and I'm like, oh
scorecard.
crap, what number are they on? Okay, 3. Like, you know, so there's a lot of stuff that can happen too. So if you always have questions, ask before the workout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, but being like,
fact.
respect the judges, right? Like, not like people were rude, but like you just said, your judges are doing a lot.
Yeah.
Like, they're worrying about
you
so many
standing now?
things. Yeah, my hips hurt.
That's not
from
fair.
today's
You're at the
workout.
perfect height to stand and talk.
I know. You guys, y'all
Not
don't
that
know
I'm
nothing
much
about
taller,
that.
but
But I feel bad, right? Like, some people get frustrated with the judges, and it's like, okay, they're not competing, but they're doing so many other things. They have to worry about the same things you're worrying about and keep you on track, because you're probably not counting either.
But even then, it happens at the games too.
It happens. I mean, it's part of the process.
you can't be mad at the judge unless they blatantly screw up. Because
Yeah.
if you're not going fast enough, that's not the judge's fault. That's your
That's on you.
fault. Yeah, that's
It's
on
like
you.
Annika Greer, I think it was, at semifinals. Her judge gave her a no rep on a rope climb that was clearly a rep.
Yeah.
And she sat there and she was like, literally, she argued for a few seconds and was just basically like, WTF. Sat down and was like about to start her next rep when like another head judge came over and was like, no, that's good. Like, we get it wrong. The goal is to hopefully have people in place like we did with head judges and other eyes, like, to verify what we're doing.
Well, and then
we
at,
did.
at that level, they're gonna have video.
Yep.
To where
and they
like
did. They literally
they have
replayed
video.
it immediately.
To where like if she was probably like they said no rep, I'd be like, it sucks to do one more rep, but I can do one more rep and then contest it later, and they'll take the time off
Yep.
it took me to
Yep.
do that one
Absolutely.
more rep.
Yeah.
Like, so you standing there like arguing for X amount of minutes
Ain't
or
gonna
however
help.
long, it's not going to help you overall in the workout anyway. So
Yeah, we had 2 minor incidents early with the RX. I think they were both RX co-eds teams in the first workout. And so for the handstand walk,
Yeah.
you know, coming back, it was
how they
handstand
were-
down,
yeah.
back, down, and then partner 2 would run
Sprint.
down and meet them,
Yeah.
right? For whatever reason, and I saw it happening, is the first person that was going to handstand walk, they ran down and started handstand
walking
walking
back.
back, right? So their
Oh, I
judge
didn't
is
see
doing.
that
I
one.
said, let him go. And what I made them do is, because she was already halfway down, let her finish, walk again, and
And
then
go
walk
back.
again. Or yeah,
As if you had ended over there, like you were supposed
and now
to.
you still have to run down and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that corrected it. And then there was another one where I saw they got messed up, and it kind of I could tell it might have been the judge's fault, because they said, no, come down here. No, wait.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, I know which one you're
I
talking
just
about
said,
there.
when they were done, I was like, hey, you guys did
Give 'em
great.
a little-
I'm going to take 5 seconds off your time, because
Yeah.
that's about, in
That was
my
a
mind,
miscommunication.
Yeah, how long that mess up
Yeah.
changed your time was probably about 5 seconds. It
Right.
wasn't 30 seconds. It was just a little, and they were like, cool, you could get it,
Yeah.
no problem. So that worked well. And actually, I was impressed with the judges too. Like, a lot of them did really good. They weren't didn't seem too nervous.
No. Giving people no reps
Who
when
was
they
that?
needed
Somebody
them.
said that they were like, I'm so nervous. I was like, I'm more nervous judging than I am competing half the time because
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
so much to have to worry about for
I don't wanna mess
standards.
up somebody's
and-
time.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this
like
is
it's not
important.
me working out; it's somebody else, and I
Yeah.
don't want to mess it up. And I'm like, oh my God, there's so much stuff I have to remember.
Our judges did a good job, and like I liked having you and Christian and Kelly at times too, like walking around, making sure that even the judges are doing the things they need to do, because we go to so many local comps, and like I'm not calling out any one comp, but people get away with some stuff, and that annoys me. Like
Yeah.
that annoys me to my core, because we preach so much in CrossFit about RX and meeting the standards, right? Well, and not like just RX because the division, like RX, like the points of performance need to be met. Like, why
Well, you're
do
not
we
going to get
give
away
them,
with it in the open or at regionals
Yeah,
or
why do
whatever,
we-
semifinals.
Not that we give them slack on purpose, but
No.
why are we not holding everyone to the same standard that we preach about? That drives me nuts.
And it kind of drives me crazy that the people that will complain when you're holding them to a standard are the RX athletes.
Are the people that can do the standard.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. But they're the same ones I've seen at other comps too, not getting no rep, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah, because
that,
you didn't earn it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel.
Because then sometimes, like, if you have an intermediate and they're doing it, then they get no reps, but they just did the same thing. And it's funny because, like, I don't know if you've heard this, but in Ollie, like, they'll be like, okay, so if somebody does, like, a press out on one elbow or something, like, barely, they'll get a red light.
Yeah.
But they were like, let CJ Cummings try and do it. They still going to give him white
Yep.
lights because he's the best. And so, you know, and they were like, and it sucks to do that because, like, I know he's really good. And I could watch CJ Cummings work out all day, clean,
Yeah.
jerk, and snatch. But it's also like, if he does have a fault, then you need to hold him accountable just like you do everybody else.
over there, you got your own mic, man. You're not
Yeah.
sitting on my lap, dude.
I was excited.
Yep.
Baby. Come on.
Look at Melissa. She checked. I got a
Oh,
trainer
is it
check.
on? Is it
Yeah.
on?
Got Coach Dan jumping in too.
So, and that does happen sometimes, but
The goofiest hiccup we had is we didn't print enough score sheets.
Hannah fixed that Saturday
and I
night.
thought you had texted and you were like, I printed front to back. So in my head, I was like, ooh, he might not have enough if he printed front to back.
Yeah.
And I thought about it and I was going to print more, but I was like, no, I
Hannah
texted
did.
him the number. We'll be okay.
Hannah texted me Saturday night. She goes, send me the workouts for tomorrow. And she took all the scorecards home and made copies. She was like, I want to have enough workout. I want to have enough scorecards.
Yeah, well, she was stressed because she
But-
was like, we got to.
The thing that we didn't think about, at least I didn't think about, was having a second sheet for that judge on workout 5.
Yeah, I didn't do that. That was my bad when I created the
You
scorecards.
don't think about that.
I put them all on the
whiteboards
same
were fine.
scorecard. My
Yeah.
bad. So
The whiteboards were fine.
Yeah. What almost got really messed up in that workout is the workout started and
someone didn't have a
Someone
judge.
didn't have a judge.
yeah, it was Colby's wife. And
Yes.
she was on the end, and I had my group, but she was like, Judge. I'm like, counting both of them. On one hand, I got
No,
her, and
not-
another one, I got
there was
another
one
one. And I'm
before
like,
that.
this.
There was one
There was
before
one
then.
before that. It wasn't. It
Oh, I
wasn't
didn't know.
Aaron.
It was a man.
It was no. It was a girl.
It was a girl?
And all of a sudden, somebody goes, "No judge," and the person was going to try to count both. And I just, because
Yeah,
I was
that
head
was me.
judging
I
right
think
there,
that
I
was
just
me.
looked at her real quick and I said, "How many is that?" She goes, 7. I said, and I started counting.
You're like, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
the hand clean, the
Yeah.
power
Yeah.
cleans. Oh,
And it
no,
just
I had
started,
the
so I was like,
boxes.
I'd give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
If
she's
she just said
gonna lie.
17, I'd have been like, okay, fam.
In 10 seconds? How's that possible?
Because I was like, okay, I got you. And then, who was it that came over and was like,
Jerry
okay,
Ann.
yeah, she's like,
Jerry
I got
Ann's
her.
like, I don't
got
even
her.
know what the workout
I
is.
was like, thank God, because I was like, I was counting on my hands with like in my head for one and my hand on the other girl, and then I'm like, I just got to get to 21 and they'll be on the rower. So I was
don't
like,
have
and
to worry about
somebody
it.
will be there by then, and I was like, let's go.
Yeah. Well, and Coach Dan didn't get to, he was busy that weekend with his drill weekend, but you got to pop in a little bit. Did you
See
have?
Paige's PR with
Yeah.
That's cool, yeah.
something that was
Yeah,
the thing.
that
was
was
the one
pretty
to see.
sick. Yeah, she got me on that one because, as usual, Paige fashion. Dad, can you judge me on this one? I'm like, all right. So I asked Christian, hey, do head judge while I go judge her, and I was just chilling. And I honestly, I didn't realize it didn't register with me that she was going for a PR. in her
Oh,
clean
really?
gym.
Yeah, she told me before because I
Yeah.
judged him on the C2 bike workout, and she was like, I feel it.
Feel it,
And
too.
I'm like,
It's hard in the moment too to realize how much weight you have on the bar. Like
Yeah.
I've done that in the competitions.
Yep.
Yeah.
10 pounds over where
but
I
we
thought I
had,
was.
there were a lot of big numbers.
Like, why does this feel so heavy?
Yeah.
I was actually glad she didn't tell me because I didn't care. I was just like,
Yeah,
I was just
you're
like,
great,
good
yeah,
lift.
Yeah.
And then when she started walking over and she starts crying.
I'm like,
and then she starts making me cry. Yeah. And then she
And
made
you're like, I
Christian-
make strong kids.
Right. And I walked off.
Everybody in the gym is crying.
Yeah.
She PR'd, Sam PR'd her snatch by like 15 pounds.
Kaylin PR'd her clean and jerk.
Yep.
Sam PR'd is clean.
Yep. And then Megan said she hit like 97% of her snatch or
And
something.
she hasn't been lifting because of her back. Yeah.
So
there's a lot of
there were a lot of big
good
numbers for
stuff.
people. It was pretty good. Like, and
There
that's
was
what
some
I
dudes
like.
throwing around some weight too. I mean, it wasn't-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There were dudes. Okay, to point that out, there was the dudes in the RX that were like, "What's he got on the bar? What do we have on the bar?"
Yeah.
And they're like going back and forth. I was like, "Ooh, this is what I live
Yeah,
for. That's
right?
what I want to see."
Yeah, that was cool that they were doing that.
Yeah,
Like,
because it was the difference between first and second for those
Yeah.
two groups. I was like,
But that's
okay.
why that's why I was like, they should announce their weight. Maybe we should have been like 175, so like everybody
been cool.
could have
Oh,
heard
everyone
it.
would know.
The judges would be like
Yeah.
175
Oh, that's
because they
one
have the
thing.
little flip board.
That's what I'll work on.
So,
We'll do.
yeah.
I want to MC next year.
We need to get you the headset.
I need
Yeah,
a.
that
I
was
do
the
need a
one thing I
headset
noticed
and a
right away
clipboard.
was a mic. Like that, it needed you guys needed
Yeah.
a microphone.
Jason Frazier, you already signed up for next year, so
he's gonna MC.
he's gonna MC it for us. He'll be fun.
Check.
What in the?
225 on the bar
That's a no
on
rep.
platform 2.
That would be good to call that
was
stuff out.
actually,
That'd
now
be
that I
fun.
think about it, like you might just need an MC because they'll just throw out what people are throwing around.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Like, that
because like
happened
think
at
about
the-
like
yeah.
at all the competitions where Big Red,
Yeah.
the
That was
Red
what
Express,
exactly what I was thinking about.
Just get a
because, like,
DJ MC that
Yeah.
does both and
we
just
were doing a competition and it was a scaled and RX competition and Adam, who used to work out at the old gym, and I were like very good at cleaning. And
Yeah.
we were like cleaning 295 when there's people in their group.
Oh, that was in
cleaning,
Krypton, was
185.
that was at Krypton,
Okay,
huh?
Dan,
Yeah.
Sandbag.
All right,
It is-
so-
and they didn't have an intermediate; it was only scaled or RX.
Well, so then we walked back to like where we're sitting, and the people. Were
Nobody
like,
likes you anymore.
Yeah, I overheard some guy saying, "Who the hell had 295 on the bar?" I was like,
I don't know that guy.
So bring a friend week. If anybody has a DJ friend, bring them.
Yeah, because that was just not in the budget. I'll be honest.
Hey, I was doing pretty good using my phone.
No, I mean like,
It's
here's
just
my
where the
thing,
speakers
right?
were. We were blasting.
one more
speakers-
thing to
"Man,
worry
you got,
about.
Yeah.
you got the sound system in there.
There's
blow that
one,
place
yeah.
out."
There's
like,
one more
I
thing to
think,
worry about.
The biggest thing, right, is like the DJ, like Kelly said, is one more thing to think about. It's also an expense. It's not necessarily.
Oh, I was just saying, like, if you're worrying about the music, like, you had a good playlist, but then it kind of died off, and it's like,
Yeah.
you're worried about running everything on time, and then
That's
you're like,
what we
wait a
should do
minute,
is
what
just make a
song is playing
playlist
right now?
beforehand.
Like,
and just let it run. I think they did that a couple years ago. Yeah, why don't we just put on big booty
Dude, I told
mixes?
you on, like,
Big
Thursday
booty
the
mix.
other day.
he put that on the other morning. Somebody was like, this is
Dan's
not a big
been
moody
here.
mix. He was like, give it 5 seconds. It's coming.
It's
and I was like,
building.
It's building.
Tried to make me turn it off on Monday, last Monday. I was
No.
like,
yeah, you were like, no, it's
Why would you turn off Big
Booty?
Booty Mix?
Because it started out, I forget what song it was, and
Started
they were like,
all
this
slow.
isn't
It starts
Booty
with like
Mix.
words and they're talking. Yeah.
Well, you just got fast forward that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
there are a
came-
few
it-
songs
it
you
got
got to fast
better.
forward.
It got
through.
better.
I mean, if you're listening to the music as an athlete, like, come on.
I'm just trying not to die.
Yeah, like, I'm not thinking about any of that.
3, 2, 1, go. The music disappears.
It's gone. Yeah.
I might hear the beat.
I want to hear it beforehand though.
I do want to hear it beforehand. Yeah.
I might
Like-
hear the beat
All
when
right,
I'm
so,
doing stuff.
okay, so DJ, what? Okay,
DJ,
I don't know, you guys might have covered this already. So I
music.
The
apologize.
MC, having an MC
Yeah,
would
Things
be
to
good.
possibly
Are
improve
you-
on next year.
Yeah.
Are you working on so MC and what else for next year?
So we need to get you a headset.
I need a head. You know what? I want a headset regardless.
Saying that will
what
be
is
on the
purpose of
budget.
headset?
We're
So
turning
that I
this
can,
into
like,
a
walk and
Zumba
talk.
class.
Yeah, like a
okay.
Zumba class.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think we should
I
give
thought
you
you
a
meant, like, walking
headset.
talk.
I will be a menace with the
Yeah, we need a
headset.
warning before you start talking on a
That'd be
mic.
so fun. We said that.
For who?
More
You'll
passion.
probably
more
like
energy.
forget.
More energy.
Oh my god! You'd probably forget you have it on, and then like be
Oh,
like,
I'll say some
and then
random
you'll start
shit.
talking like shit
Yeah.
or something, and you'd be
I
like,
will.
oh,
You need like an NFL mic that you can cut off.
I know. I literally, we talked about that. Me and Hannah and Courtney. I was like, I'm gonna get like a headset, but y'all know I'm gonna have a button that turns it on and off. Because I'll
And-
say some
And
off
you
the
need a
wall
backup
stuff.
person that also has a button
Right?
to cut you
Yeah,
off.
be like,
Did
hey,
you see what game was
Can we
it?
do like a 10-second
Where the
delay?
player went up,
Announcer.
where the player went up to the ref, and he was like, "I'm talking to America
talking
right
to
now,
America."
son. Calm down. You're gonna be like, somebody's gonna come up to you and ask
I'm
a
talking
question.
to America
I'm
right
talking to the
now."
athletes right now. You need to go back and away." And I'll be like, "Oh my god."
It'd be too much power. I know it'd be too much power for me.
See, I'm talking to America.
You didn't see that? And the guy's like,
Yeah.
hold on, son, I'm talking
He was
to
like,
America right
flag
now.
on the play, and then he's like, he was like, son, I'm talking to America right now. You need
That
to
is the boldest
dying.
statement. Like, I love that. That's
Best.
the kind of energy I want.
Yeah, that was so good. Oh my God, I died.
But yeah, that was one in MC, and then we talked about having a little bit more transition time in between some of those workouts.
Maybe just like, and I think maybe it was just a gymnastics one because that one had the most setup.
it had the most setup and the most things that people needed
Everything
that
else
varied.
went fine.
Were there any
Yeah.
layout changes you would make? Obviously, it's
I
very
really
workout
like the
dependent,
layout.
but-
We talked about the run.
Yeah.
Like if we could structure the run a little bit differently so everyone felt.
We
that it
also
was
said just buy
fair.
some runners.
Yeah,
the
we just said
5
just-
runners, and then
just
we'll be
buy-
okay.
Just buy air
easy,
runners.
25 grand,
Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah, dude, come on.
And that
bro.
would solve all the problems. But yeah, I mean, I liked the layout, at least in my opinion. Maybe again, I could be just married to my own idea, but I liked that it
lanes
was
worked-
tight. The
the
lanes were
lanes worked
cool. I
out.
thought.
We only
Yeah.
had one thing we had to change because of the bars, and that was my thing. I was like, Melissa,
Mm-hmm.
we should move the bars up, and you didn't want to.
I thought
And we
you
had
meant
the one
like
thing.
I thought you meant like move the bars, like day of in between events.
No.
I was like, because they
Move the
did that at
bars
Bear
up.
Fight.
What do you mean?
Like
Which one?
on the rig, like just
Move
moving
all the
them up a
bars
couple
up.
holes.
Oh, yeah,
Just 'cause
yeah,
we had
okay.
a couple
I
that
was
were
We
really
talked
barbells,
about
that's why I
that
was
too. We said
confused.
Sam and I said the next year what we were gonna do. So that's a great point. Is like put them all at the same height, just like the games.
Yeah, and
They're
have a
all
step
at the
up.
same height. Yep.
Yeah.
If you're too tall, you're too tall. If you're too
And
short,
you
you
need
get
a
a
box.
riser. Yeah.
And you have to move your box.
Because that's something that they do. Like I've seen athletes at the games complain about their feet hitting the ground. And they're like, sorry.
Yeah, or you pick
It's a
two
standard.
heights and do every other like a tall. And I'm like, when I
I
say
went-
short, I don't mean super short, but
Yeah.
like, you know.
I
Yeah.
went to a comp in Georgia, and my teammate was like, Tiffany's got to be close to 6 feet. She's tall. So she worked polar opposites. And the one workout was outside, and they had the rig, and it was a high bar, and I could jump to it. And they didn't have a box. And I was like, how am I was like, can she like pick me up? And they were like, your
Kelly's
partner
getting
has
lifted.
to be
Right
back
here,
there.
sit
And I'm
right
like,
here.
so I'm just going to stand at the bar the whole time? Like, I can't get up there, like climb
And that's not
like,
fair
the
to you.
side to get up there. Like, and they were like, yeah, I guess she can help you up there. I was like, oh, thanks.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Yeah, what am I
that.
supposed to do?
Like,
Yeah.
Looking out for me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's
I
just
was
the
like-
things you have to deal with, though. Because that same Krypton comp
Thanks.
you were talking
Thanks,
about,
Chris.
it's true.
Wow.
Because at that same Krypton comp, Paige was competing, and they were doing burpees to a target. Well, those bars on that rig were all tall. They were all the same height.
I mean,
Did they have a box for her to step on and then jump up?
I couldn't
And
imagine, Dan.
They told her because she was testing it, and they told her, well, you can jump with one arm as long as you can touch one hand. So she's literally like,
I might have whiffed the hell out of that
or like
bar and fell.
15th burpee, like just
Yeah.
like trying to hit it with one
Dang.
hand. But I mean, whatever it is, what it is, you got to deal with it.
Look, if you're doing it that way, like at least it's the same for everyone, regardless. Just like we talked about with the ring rows, right? Like nobody lowers the wall ball height for us because we're short. Like
No,
make it the standard, and it is the standard. It's not a bad
True.
point.
very true. Bar is the same.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot. There's a lot that we could change. We could run it the same way again. It worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I would like to do. So I was thinking about this. I can't believe it's only been a week. I don't know why I feel like it's been so long ago. Maybe because my days have just felt long this
Because
week.
it's literally been like 2 weeks straight of being at the gym coaching
Yeah,
or doing
just
whatever.
like-
There has been no weekend. So.
And it's like, I think if we wanted to make it bigger, I would have a workout outside.
I was gonna say
and
you could
run
do a
two
workout
heats at the same
outside.
time.
Yeah.
I would really like to have an outside workout. I don't know what I would do, but I just think it would be cool.
That's how the comp was in Georgia. They did what was it, the Andrew brothers that own that gym? I can't remember. They set up a rig across the street in the park, and so they had like one workout going on in the gym, and then they had workout 2 going on, and then you
Yep.
switched.
Yep. So
And
Fittest of
then-
the Coast did that. My very first year of doing Fittest of the Coast, they were in a gym this size.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had like 2 workouts outside and 1 workout going on at the same time, and
Yeah.
it still ran very well. It was a good comp. But I just think that would be cool. And we have that outdoor rig. It'd be cool to use it.
So make it a floater.
No, no float. We were
That's what
talking
we talked
earlier
about.
about
That.
how
Everyone
floaters
hates
No
are
floaters.
floaters.
No floaters.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what was great? Doing it a 2-day comp.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well,
I
but
like
you
the
also
2-day.
finished it like what was it, 2 or 3, 3:30.
3:30 on day 1,
And I
and
felt
then
like that was a
noon.
good, and you still gave them a decent amount of time for lunch. Like I
Yeah,
felt
we
like
still
it
had a
was
break at
a
lunch.
good, and it was like I was like, you're not going to vomit because you're not running after lunch. And then
You're gonna
but then,
need that
like-
for them lifts.
But then they got done, or like they got done at a decent time. They could go
Mm-hmm.
home, get dinner, and be in bed unless you're Paige, whose car breaks down outside the development. And then,
or if you're with us doing trunk or treat
Right.
and espresso martinis.
hey, man,
I did
loved
both.
it. My son loved it.
Yeah,
I thought
it
it
was
was great. But then But then next day we were done by lunch.
Yeah.
Like people, if
You
they
still had a
came from a,
weekend.
I mean, I don't know how far people came from, but they still
Yeah,
had
those
time to
West
drive.
Virginia
or do
people,
back.
I'm sure were thankful.
Yeah.
because they drove. But it's
Oh,
like,
did they say people came from West
yeah,
Virginia?
I think that was our furthest was West Virginia. But it's like
It was
we got home.
the two guys that won RX came from West Virginia.
And the two women that won,
Oh,
that was
okay.
their significant others. It's like we got to lunch, and I looked at my watch. I was like, man, it's got to be so late. I was like, huh, it's 2:00.
Yeah.
I went and got my toenails done. I went and hung out. I was like, dang, I got a whole day left still.
Because
That was nice.
I was gonna text Jen from Crash and be like, hey, you want to come
Yeah.
up to us and do a comp? Like I was like, because Iron Bridge held the
Yeah.
first fittest of the
Yep,
coast.
yep.
And I know all those owners, and I was like, I wanted to text most of them, but I was like, I don't know if they travel that far.
How many
Charleston's
more
pretty
teams
far.
would you want?
So we had 38 teams. Our goal was
Yeah.
45. I could probably push to 50 or 54.
Then it becomes a time thing.
Same.
Exactly.
Same,
Yeah.
groups, like same intermediate scale.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if
male,
I'll do,
female.
I'll have to really look at that because we had one group of scaled people.
All women. We
There
had
were
no men
Yeah, there was no men scaled,
and no male, female.
and there was no male female scaled, and
then they were full everywhere else.
everywhere else was
Intermediate-
men's or women's
intermediate was
RX.
stacked. Yeah, women's RX.
Women's RX
Yeah.
only had two teams, which I don't. Everyone just seems to do co-ed now. I might not do same-sex pairs. I don't know. But that's something that I'd like to look at and just like digest,
Yeah.
because I like the idea of having scaled intermediate and RX. Because I think when you only do two,
It's such a gap in.
there's such a gap, and you get people that really should be in this division
Yeah.
that
Also,
aren't.
with your caveat, it could make a difference where only one person has to do the movement. You know.
Exactly. That's why I like that idea, just because it takes a little stress off people. And if we kept the same divisions and we ran two heats at once, like workout one was going while workout two at the same time,
And then switch.
And even if we don't flop, even if we just run them through a rotation, like
Yeah.
it's easier when it's like only female.
Only
Only males,
male,
because they're
yeah.
probably using different things. The really hard thing is when you get the
Male,
the
female.
male,
Because you need
female.
double.
You got two barbells out. you
Yeah.
got-
Yeah, so you just
Yeah.
like limit your equipment that
I
way.
You need
think-
also more judges
I
if
think
you're
you
doing
could
two
keep it
heat
exactly
things.
the same.
Yeah.
We could even go to 60 teams.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you just have to look at the workout you're doing,
Yeah.
because like the RX teams were going significantly faster, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So if just let it run and see who signs up, because
Yeah.
if you would have had 12 men's RX teams, would you have been upset? Absolutely not. It's more teams signing up, make the comp bigger, and
What do we have?
they would
6
have
men's
done
RX.
faster.
Men's intermediate male female had 11 teams. That was our biggest division.
Yeah.
Second biggest was RX men.
Yeah.
I think the co-ed intermediate is probably almost always going to be your biggest, because it's a
Yeah.
variety, because you get more
Yep.
options of
I mean,
people
we
you
had
can pull
18
from.
total intermediate teams or something like that, didn't we?
Yeah.
20. Like.
And
Yeah, 11.
My take,
Yep.
I don't really think you want to limit scale, just because if you're trying to get people excited about testing their
Yeah.
fitness,
Yeah,
they're new to
let 'em,
CrossFit.
yeah.
So like, I think you can look at modifying the workouts even if you had to at the end, and
I
just
think
being
I might
efficient.
would add like tighter time caps for like RX.
Sure.
Because we
something
didn't
like
even
that.
use the tie
Yeah,
break times in
we could do
Helena.
that.
Like,
The thing is like
What time were we done on Saturday?
3:30.
So I mean, even if we would have went till 5, that's still a
That's
decent
still
time.
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And even if we would have went till like 1 or 2
1
o'clock on
on
Sunday,
2, people
still
wouldn't
not
have been
the end of
if
the
you
world.
had like a quick burner, like a 5-minute cap workout, you
Yeah.
still could have made it
That's
on
the thing.
Saturday.
Is like when we're basing them off the games, that dictates a lot.
Yeah.
And we dictated the time caps. Like we could probably have tightened up some of the time caps, which would have forced people to go faster in some, and then more people are just going to get capped. Like it's not a bad thing. It just is what it is.
It happens.
Some small things like that, we could get more teams in, and like you said, just running a couple more hours. Like the first event, right, was 8:30 to 10:15. And it ran a little bit longer because we
Yeah,
had to
the
have that
extra heat.
extra heat. So 8:30 to 10:30. And that was a 9-minute workout, so a fairly long workout. So a couple extra hours in the afternoon, you've run another workout entirely.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think people were upset leaving at 3:30, but I don't think they would have been upset leaving at 5 either. I like the early days. Nobody wants to be there at 8 o'clock at night.
No.
Like, let's be honest. Nobody.
You don't want to be there for like 3 meals.
No.
That's how I look at it. Like breakfast,
yeah.
lunch, and dinner. I'm there, and I'm like, where? I mean, luckily you had like good food trucks that first day because they came to the
Ooh.
shipyard. I was like, they're awesome. Like, and I was like, they're perfect for
I
a
hope he
comp.
comes back.
They're healthy. They give you the macros on the food. Like, they're perfect.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Oh, yeah, they make
still,
it
you don't want to
They
be
were
there.
but I was
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
I didn't have time to go to the food truck.
I
That's
can always
on
buy you
you.
something and bring you something another day. They're pretty
I
good.
had time to run
Yeah.
the kids' workout between noon and 1. You didn't have time to go to the food
Did you have
truck.
like a
No.
judges area?
I ate the
Like, where they
toppings off the
could- where
pizza.
they could disappear to? 'Cause that's like that would be key.
Yeah, they sat. Well, we have like a front area where everyone's
Yeah.
pretty much stationed, and then we got
It's
pizza.
It's where
for
all the
lunch
donuts
and
were. That's
the
where-
donuts and the
I
pizza.
walked up. Let me just tell y'all. I walked up to the donuts, and I opened. I was like, "Who took a bite out of a donut and put the donut back?" And then she walks up and she's like, "Oh, it's mine." And I'm like, "It would be." I was like,
My family, my in-laws call me the mouse because I'll go in and bite something and put it right back in the fridge.
And she picked it up, took another bite, and put it
right
back
back
in.
down.
And I was like,
So if
ain't
I
even
bite this,
mad.
no one's gonna eat it.
I was like, I'm not even mad.
You know what
was
I think? Because you're asking about place for judges to be. I think it would have helped if we would have had like maybe 6 more judges.
Yeah.
Because it would have been nice. I mean, nobody complained, but we didn't have a lot of spare judges to rotate out. And then when we got to the last
Well,
workout, you
yeah.
needed 2 judges.
I will say, some people had on judges' shirts
That weren't judging.
that weren't judging.
I judged every heat that second day.
I
didn't
even judge
mind.
heats, yeah.
The first day, I was a little more burnt out because that first workout was a lot.
It's a lot
And
mentally.
so I needed to after 3 heats, I was like, I just need a break for 2 heats if somebody could switch out for me. But that second day,
Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna lie to you, judging that second day, when those RX people got up,
It was fun.
man, that run was bacon. Like I
They
was
were
like, I'm
cooking.
gonna get a tan out
Yeah.
here. I was like, the first run, it was cool, and I'm like, it's
It
great
got
wondering
warm.
whether.
Yeah.
And then that RX heat, I'm like, man, y'all are roasting right now. I was like, y'all need some water? Like,
Yeah.
oh, we need a sprinkler. Shh.
Yeah, by the middle way through, like I walked outside,
Yeah.
and it was nice inside. I walk out, I'm like, because I hadn't been out there
You're
for
like,
like
oh,
10.
God.
I'm like, what happened? Like,
Yeah.
I'm
It's
going
hot
back in the
out
And
here.
you're as a
shade.
judge, you're just staring in the sun. I'm like, are they coming soon?
You can't see them. You're just like,
Like, would you
like
hurry
across the
up?
prairie, yeah, like-
hurry up. God.
what's the dog that comes home in that movie? It's like you're watching across the field
Oh, I
and
know
the
what
dogs
you're
are
talking
coming home.
about. The lab or whatever, the golden retriever.
Yeah.
That
Homeward
yeah,
bound.
Homeward bound.
Whips in and it's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why you feel like you're watching them just like,
I was not, and I wasn't just cheering for my team, but I was like, I'm probably not somebody CrossFit wants judging because you're not supposed to cheer for the people. It's like, let's go! I was
you're
like,
doing
turn
great.
and burn, let's get
Yeah.
down with this run. And I was like, they're all looking at me. I'm like, hey, I'm just saying, you're only going to catch people.
You're like, it's hot as hell.
Yeah. You're only going to decrease your time on the run. Everything else is just going to be the same with other people. So you might as well sprint on the run. Let's get it done. And
Did you get any feedback yet?
yeah, have you gotten any? I was going to ask you, like, you sent out the
I
stuff.
haven't sent out a survey yet. My plan was to do it yesterday, but had some stuff going on yesterday afternoon. I'm gonna send it out tonight. Just like to clarify, it'll be anonymous, so I'm not gonna know who sent it.
Google Docs.
Yeah, it'll be a Google form. I don't care. Like, if,
I'd
I mean,
rather
if you wanna tell me who you are, you can. But I want people's honest opinions.
I want to know how to improve.
Yeah,
Because
like
that's how you get people back.
I don't know, like. And again, I don't want people to think I'm like calling out other comps, right? This is just how I want to run comps with our staff and our expectations. It's like everyone runs comps, we all have complaints, and then like they never get heard, and then they never change. But yet we still all sign up for the same comps and do the same thing.
Pay the same money.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's just I want our comp to be for the athletes. Like I said that in our closeout statements, right? Like I'm not there to pocket a bunch of money. I'd love to make money. That'd be great. We didn't this year, and like we will in years to come, I'm sure. But like it should be a competition that's focused on the athletes. Being on that side of events that are run well, your entire experience is better. And like quite frankly, you're the ones paying to be here. Like I don't go to Starbucks and when my order's wrong, I don't just keep it. I tell them that my order's wrong, like because I'm getting a service. You're
Shout out
kind
to
of getting a
Starbucks.
service. Yeah.
Sponsorship next year.
And OSF. Yeah, like you're paying for a service, right? Like we're to provide you
Yeah.
a really good, well-run comp.
Exactly.
And you're going to get paid at the end too. So we should be focusing on you. We're trying to find the fittest people in our
Hampton
area,
Roads.
if you will. Yeah.
Well, I think part of the key, because I heard it from the guy that used to run the gangs of Mid-Atlantic, is when you put together a comp, put together something you would want to do.
Yeah.
you know, like legitimately, would you want to do it? Not
Yeah.
trying
Would you
to
wanna do those
overdo it,
workouts
and,
or-
like we're not making like other comps that make up movements, and you're like, a what?
Yeah, it's
And-
just
What is-
why
what
are
are
we
the
reinventing
standards
the
for
wheel?
that?
Yeah.
How do I even look that up?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we're gonna go outside and push a bus. Okay, now we're doing a strongman competition. Like it doesn't make sense.
Cool. Yeah.
It's
Cool.
like, I'm in.
Actually, my bus couldn't start, so you're pushing it down.
Yeah, and I think we made it fun and fast, and that's what it should be.
Yeah, and I think yeah,
But, yeah, and I think like you're modeling it after the games is huge.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just to make it like obviously everybody watches the games, and at a certain point it becomes unrelatable, but you make it relatable.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That's a good point. Like it.
Well,
I don't
especially
know.
for scaled and intermediate, because like
Yeah,
you know, like
you
RX
know.
people probably go to competitions a lot, but
Yeah.
then like as a scaled and intermediate, somebody who's beginning CrossFit or whatever, and you're like, I want to know what it feels like to do like X amount of workouts in a couple days or
Yep.
just whatever, and you feel wrecked on Monday, but you're like,
Although we had
okay.
so many people show up to class on Monday that competed this weekend.
right? I was like, take a
what
day
are
off.
you doing? Go home.
No, good job.
Yeah.
Colby specifically
You should
told
talk to
not
Colby. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
it's on his
said,
Instagram, he's
Dr.
like-
Colby
When our
said,
basically our in-house doctor.
Yeah, it was like
PT.
Don't do
I
this.
told you, I recommended. Please
Which, I
stay
mean,
at home.
They all of them took a rest day this week, but I was shocked. I was like, okay, crazies, like you didn't get enough yesterday.
Especially Monday, snatches and burpees.
Yeah, Monday was
Why
a
would
tough
you wanna
workout,
Come, why would
yeah.
you want to come for that workout? You were like, I did 10s, not 15s, and he was like, all right, a minute 40. Good luck keeping that
Yeah.
up. And I'm like, I'm doing 10s. I'm
And then
not
I
doing
did that, I did that
15s.
workout in the afternoon and finished the first round in like 1:15, and I was like, oh, God.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I messed up.
Yeah.
I messed up.
Yeah, we
I
went-
was zonked. I
we
couldn't
went
do
full
anything.
send on it. Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm proud of y'all because I like. Even Chris said.
Yeah, we didn't compete.
Chris was like, I didn't compete either.
My
but
body hurt.
I
from
was
just-
more
I
tired.
was so tired.
Yeah.
I was more tired not competing
Agreed.
than if I would have
Agreed.
competed.
I didn't want to work out. I was like, can I sleep in? But I was like, no, because you're not going to be able to go later. You have to watch a Little Human. You
Well,
need to
yeah,
get up
like,
now.
I mean,
Like-
you guys are mentally turned on all weekend. Right?
Bruh.
Like, you can't turn it off.
No.
Yeah.
I
That's
was
almost more
zonked.
exhausting,
Yeah.
having to stay focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weekend.
Yeah.
And-
You know, like,
And you're
all
just
right,
like
done with
this.
your workout, you can check out for a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
And then my
that's
day
true.
didn't end till like 10 o'clock because
Of
we
fixing
get
your
home,
daughter's
Paige
car.
all jacked up. And
Yeah.
she's like,
Yeah,
I'm going
you
to go
know,
to
you had a couple
Chick-fil-A.
of
And then her
espresso
car,
martinis
yeah.
and-
Oh yeah, don't blame
Yeah.
Paige
And
here.
then her car broke down. so I
yeah.
had to like go fix the
yeah,
damn
he
thing.
had a couple espresso
I
martinis
did.
with us.
Those were good.
Right?
Right.
I'll make them anytime you guys want.
They should. You should have the ingredients for those here at all times.
Still at the other gym. So.
They're in my car.
I will say,
You're rolling with open containers.
Wow, Jen, do not arrest me.
It's okay. You'll be safe. Just
yeah,
call it a
I
bomb
was,
threat
I
somewhere.
was freaking
No cops.
zonked. Like Tuesday, even Chris was like, "You just don't look like yourself." I was
Yeah.
like, "I don't feel like myself either."
So tiled.
Yeah,
I was
my
like, are
body
you okay?
was like a little tired, but my mind
my
was just
mind.
exhausted.
Yeah, I had no mental capacity,
Capacity, no.
to like even coaching. Like I coached one class, I think, 2 classes on Monday, 1 class on Tuesday, and I was still just like, this is hard. Like I don't normally struggle to coach, and I'm
Yeah.
like really having to push myself through.
It's a lot. Well, then I was like, I don't even know why. Because that workout on Monday was like overhead squats and snatches.
Yeah.
And then the burpees. And I was like, when I was like, oh, we're going to need some weights back at Harborview. And I took all the 45s, but I didn't take any of the 2.5s and the 5s. And I'm like, what was I doing?
Kelly,
Who was
they
going to
were-
lift this much
they were
weight in
fine.
snatches?
They were fine.
And I was like, why did I not take the 5s
Or
and
the
the 2.5?
kettlebells.
The kettlebells still haven't made their way
yeah.
back.
Look,
that was
somebody can help me load those puppies up. It's the
Should have did it
heaviest.
this morning. Should
I
have
know,
said
I
something.
sh-
I would have grabbed
Oh,
them.
there's still some over there.
Fudge. We should have done that. Yeah, all the 70s and 53s are still over there. And this is how
I can
this is
take,
how
well, I got
whiny
to
I
coach
am.
tomorrow, so I could take some and bring them on
Oh yeah,
Monday.
I'll do some too. Cause no, we'll do it tomorrow because we'll be back and forth. But like I loaded those kettlebells in the car. It's like my back hurts.
You
I'm
should
not
have
getting
seen us
anything else
before
this
you
week.
got here on Friday to get the sandbags. I was like, back your car in. And I was like, what you got in your back seat? We're about to move some stuff. She was like, no, you can't do that. And then
My back seat was so
what's
full.
his name was like, you need me to go bring some stuff. And we put the
Jason,
seats-
yeah,
we put some
Jason
C2
took a
in his,
bunch.
and I'm standing on the truck, and I was like, hand me the plates, hand me the ball, hand me the kettlebells, hand me this, and she was like,
I don't think we
my
can put
car's
any
a
more
little
weight.
low right now, so I think this is all I could carry. And I was like,
if I would
okay.
have hit a big bump,
They were like, I hope she doesn't speed.
it would not have been good. I texted Sam. I was like, "Can I mess up my car by overloading it?" He was like, "Yes." Okay, I'm just gonna drive slow. It was a lot, but I think everything except the kettlebells are back, and my little push mower, chalk cleaner upper is still over there. We have to
I was
get
looking
that
for
back.
that the other night. Nope.
Yeah.
We still
Yeah.
have. Did you take a rower over there?
No.
No, a rower's
We did not.
broken.
Oh, that's right. It's in
yeah,
the room, huh?
Yeah.
What's wrong
Oh,
with
rower broke.
It something's loose in it, and like I gotta open the fan and get it out.
Clicking.
Yeah, something is in like the housing that the fan's in, and every time it spins, you can hear it.
It's probably like a screw or something.
Yeah, I just need to fix it. I'll do that at some point.
it? No, you won't. I'll end up taking it home and doing
Chris
it.
or
It's gonna
Sam
dry.
will do it. Yeah, it's. I don't know. This week alone, like I haven't wanted to work out. I haven't wanted to do too much. I'm like, you know what? That's next week's problem. That's for next week, Melissa.
Yeah.
That's what I told Hannah at the comp day. I was like, this is probably the best Christmas gift she can have. Is I was like, the gym's remodeled, the competition's over. I was like, she probably has so much
Can
stuff
I tell
that's just,
y'all
like,
that I
done.
had some people message me asking me about things, like serious things, and I was like, I can't even like spell my name right now. Like, I'll get back to you at the end of the week. Like, I need to decompress big time.
That's what I told you. I was like, I wanted to ask you about holding that rowing class.
Oh yeah, Kelly
for,
this
like,
morning.
2 months, but I was like, we're just gonna wait till the competition's over. Cause
Yeah,
she's
because
got
right
enough
after
on
the
her plate right now.
renovations
Yeah.
was the competition. So it was
Yeah.
like,
like, we're just gonna wait.
We'll just wait. Yeah, I feel bad. I got some cool things that I want to do with the gym that I've been thinking about, but like, you just have to prioritize, right? Like, the competition was coming first after the renovations. I just had to get through that and like set that up right.
Well, you got your new board. What's
I got
that
my new
called?
board.
Her sanity board.
The sanity.
My
Didn't know where
I
Melissa's
hope
at.
somebody like read that and was
I
like
did.
Melissa's sanity.
I did. I saw it the first day it was up because I was like, oh, that's pretty nifty.
That's cute,
And
right?
then Zach, I had to coach that 6:30
Yeah,
class
yeah,
at
yeah.
night, and Zach was like, what is that? And I was like, that's Melissa's schedule. He was like, oh, this is when she works out.
Yeah,
this is
I
when
have to
she's
do
coaching."
this.
And I was like, she's all over the place, man.
And I have all these things for the gym that I want to do, like some exciting stuff coming up, just like I was talking about for the coaches meeting. But I don't like rushing things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, people may do this, and maybe I've just
overshot.
taken to it personally. I don't know, but I don't want to rush things, right? Like, we got to be well prepared on our end, and I think some people get frustrated as members or in the community. They're like, well, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing this? And it's like, have you even thought about what it takes to do that?
that,
Like, do we
yeah.
even have the staff to do that? Do we even have the like means to do that? Like, there's so many other things than just like making it happen.
Staff
Doing
means
more
time.
doesn't always mean better.
No, not even close. So I got some exciting stuff that I think will be good, and I will say,
As long as it's not yoga.
it's not yoga.
I don't
know,
hate
he's so
yoga
against yoga.
because
It's like bowling.
it starts. It's how it always starts.
Dan
Somebody,
missed
one
it.
person says everybody wants yoga for mobility, and it's usually one person and their friend.
Yes.
So you get for the first yoga class, you get like
2 people.
25 people in there.
Yeah, and then
right?
no one comes
and then
every
it goes
week
to 20.
after.
Yeah, and then it just next thing you know, there's like 2 people showing up. Now you're paying a yoga trainer or coach, whatever you would call that in the yoga world, and nobody's there.
Instructor.
Oh, I just
Yeah.
paid for WOMWAD. That's all I did. Because
Well-
I used to do it before I go to bed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like,
But that's the thing. It's like, which I could go on that tangent for years.
Yeah, I
I'll leave it
know.
alone. But like, there's so many things that we can and want to do. It's just a matter if like,
how many people would use it?
right,
What
like
would
even now.
Is it worth your investment?
I'm analyzing classes every single week,
The
right? Like
upkeep.
some of the things like 4 and 5 p.m. Fridays at Harborview are pretty slow. Like I'm considering going to a 4:30, and that's
it.
Like we have to be fluid, which is a good point to the competition too, right? Like no matter what we're doing, I feel like we have a great staff. We had a great team. You guys especially helped me so much, and Christian. Just like iron out the details, but like come down to it, we have to be fluid. Same with the gyms. Like I'm trying to stay as fluid as I can without like losing our core values and like what I believe in, which is why I opened the gym.
Yeah.
It's all about fluidity.
Yeah, fluidity. But you just like you can't be like I was talking to the affiliate manager of the Northeast, and she was talking about how like CrossFit is really pushing the CrossFit affiliate programming.
Oh, yeah.
And they get kind of upset when people don't use it. And it's like, well, if that's not good for my members, that's not good for my members. Like you have to be able to adjust and kind of balance. And something that I've come to like terms with, which I was really not, and I think I've said it on the podcast, is like it's okay if Harborview takes a different personality than AGA South. It's okay. And if their classes are a little bit different and the coaching is a little bit different, like that's okay. And I can't micromanage that, right? Like they're both going to be their own things. And that's fine because it's got to be what's best for the members at those places.
Yeah.
Well, it's what's best for the members, but also at the same time, like they can get mad that you're not using that programming or whatever, but it's also a business.
It's a business.
Like on
yeah,
your side, like, okay, well, if I did affiliate CrossFit programming and my members hated it and they all left, what am I going to do? You're going to lose an affiliate.
Yeah, exactly.
So, number one. And then number two, like you said, like if it's slow here, like, because I had to come in the afternoon one time because I couldn't come in the morning. I think my husband had duty. And then, you can see how much I love that.
Poor
and
guy.
so
He's getting the rough go today, Kelly.
and so like, and I was like, oh man, am I gonna be the only one here working out? Like I don't like work. I mean, I can do it, but I understand.
Yeah.
Like you don't like working out by yourself. I'd
Yeah.
rather work out with other people. But then also,
And that's
if
what
you're
you're paying
paying
for.
coaches to coach one person. That's a personal training session almost. Where so it's like, well, can I combine two places at one class? I only have to pay one coach, and then everybody gets to work out together.
Mm-hmm.
Like because even I was coaching over here a couple times, and that first Saturday I had to go over there. Like I don't see most of those people at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
And I was
It's
like,
a
hey,
wild
so-
transition.
And it was like that Ollie class had like 25 people in it. I was like, holy crap, I'm not gonna remember any of y'all's names real quick, so you're
Nope.
gonna have to say them a couple times. But like, and it's good. Like I need to go over there and meet those members too.
Yeah.
So like we can cross, and then they know me and I know them or whatever.
Yeah.
So they feel comfortable if they ever like. Yesterday came to you for the Ollie class. When you coach, they feel comfortable coming here and going
Yep.
there.
Yep.
Because honestly, having two locations is like awesome.
It should be a huge
my gosh,
benefit.
Like,
yeah.
like to have to. I mean, you're
to have
still
that flexibility to
Yeah,
remember.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
if I'm working in Newport News and I got to cross the Merrimack, this is closer, and I
Yeah.
can make this class versus having to drive a little further
Yeah.
south, which is like I told her, I was like. Towards the,
If I
end
wake
of
up
the,
late.
towards the end of the week, if that class, that's 10 minutes closer to my house. So if I sleep in a little bit, that's the reason why I'm not here. And I'll come here right at 7:45 to use a shower, and then I go to work.
Kelly will leave all gas, right? And I'll see on my phone, I'll be like, oh, Kelly went to Harborview to shower. She checks in over there. I'm like, yeah, Kelly's
And
going.
that's the only purpose. And I'm like, I hope Miguel doesn't think I'm missing his class on purpose, because I'm not. Like, if I ever miss any
Nah.
class here, it's because I overslept and I
Love
just
Miguel.
had to
Love
make it
all
to
of our
class on. Because I
coaches.
don't like being late for people's classes at all either.
Yeah.
But like when I have to wake up at 4:30 to make my son stuff for daycare, I'm like, it's a little late today, so I'm just
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
just
to all
slide
gas.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's huge to have two locations, like, because you can offer different classes at the same time, and the flexibility for people to use different locations. Like, that's what I told you. I think I texted you. I don't know if you accepted it, but one of the spouses asked, like, where should I go on the military
Oh, yeah.
spouses page?
I accepted
and
it.
I was
I
like,
hope they allow
yeah,
me
I know.
in.
Yeah, they should. Well, hopefully, because I was like, that's a whole nother bracket that you can reach of people.
Yeah.
But I was like, with your membership, you get CrossFit classes, you get hustle classes, you get Ollie classes, you get open gym, and you get access to 2 different gyms that
Yeah.
have showers. Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
Like, just depending on travel and where you're working. Like, as a business.
Convenience wins 99
like,
times out of
that's what you
100.
pay for with money is convenience. It's all
Yeah.
you're paying for. And so, like, that's huge when you have 2 locations.
Yeah.
And then you have, like, an ominous amount of great coaches. So,
Yeah, we do have a good staff. And it's like, I don't know. Again, like thinking about the Trident games and the business, right? Like you have to run them both the same. Like
Yep.
it's I'm sure I don't like beating a dead horse, right? But I have to make money at some point. Like or the gyms won't be here. So
Yeah.
like we have to make those decisions. And it sucks when I can't explain it to everyone right away. Like the coaches obviously get a firsthand look at it. You guys get a little bit more detail a lot sooner than members do. This isn't a fast food restaurant. You can't like just get a double cheeseburger or chicken nuggets, right? Like there's so many other things that we have to put into place. Same with the comp, right? Like there's so many things that we have to think of. There's so many things we need to put in place. And when it comes down to it, like going through the motions is how we learn. Okay, so you know what? That didn't work. We're not going to do it next year.
Yeah.
This class isn't working. Okay, we're not going to do it. Like we are always going to be as fluid as we can.
But you know what?
And moldable.
We run I wouldn't say like a tight ship as that it makes it not fun.
Yeah.
But you have rules, you make us stick to them, and there's
Yeah.
things you're like, hey, this is what we do, this is what we don't do.
Yeah.
And the when we put the comp together, like if you guys saw the thread of us
Oh
three
my
and Christian, every day we were like, "Hey, have you thought about this?
It
Hey,
would
have
be
you thought
like
about
one standard. Like we would write, and I was
55
writing them,
messages
and then,
later.
and then like he'd be like, "Well, are we gonna do the tape for the handstand?" But she was like, "I want the box," and so I'm like, "Okay, so this is the standard." And then we're like, "But then for the wall walks, we're gonna have a box with the tape in it. So do we
Shit,
want
that
two
looks
separate
bad.
pieces of
Yeah.
tape?"
Yeah.
And it's like boom, boom, boom,
And see,
boom,
I
boom,
was
boom,
about
boom.
on that one. I was about to say, well, it's not, and I was just like, I'm just gonna let it go because it's not that big a deal. If she wants
Yeah.
to do a box, okay, she can go with her standard, and it like worked itself out.
Yeah.
And then like within the
50
next couple
messages
hours,
later.
she's like, I think I'm just gonna do the tape.
And you're like, I'm sending like videos. I'm like, yeah, and this, like,
And we're
like my
watching.
damn PSAs.
and then like every day, and then like we thought we were done, and then we're like, all right, I was like, Chris and Christian, read through it, let me know what you think, and then you
One
went
more
back,
time,
and then
yeah.
like the last day, I'm like, all right, I'm reading through it one more time, and I was like, oh crap, like what should we do for this? And then like if the mat's there for like they're gonna hit them on the burpees, so we need to face the wall instead of do sideways and all that. We were like, man, like there's so much just technical, like minor
Yes.
stuff that you
Yeah.
don't think about, because like you can, like, okay, handstand push-ups, what is the first thing you do? Google CrossFit standard handstand push-up scorecard, so it gives you like the pictures,
Yep.
everything, you just copy and paste it. But then how they're set up is not going to be the same as us, because like you had originally written, like if you have an uneven surface, basically like plates and a pad, they have to be level. And I was like, well, if we're doing the line, that's going to take a lot of setup. So we were like, all right, no. So then she's like, well, put a pad down, and then we have a box and a line, and then it's like working through 50,000 things for one small standard. And I was like, at one point I was like, how many coaches does it take to create a standard
Yeah,
for
like,
handstand
where's
You know
push-up?
what? Of all of any of the little hiccups we have, none of them were like a standard got messed up or
No.
oh crap.
No,
None of them were
no.
that. We just had minor little logistical hiccups.
Yeah.
So I think that was well worth going through it.
I agree.
The more people that can look at it too, it's the same thing. Like you get a different perspective to tell you, like, well, what did you think about
Yeah.
And
this?
it's working that'll compound itself going forward, right? Like you'll be
Absolutely.
able to use that stuff again.
Yeah.
Exactly. We could just copy and paste it.
Because I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
the one thing I would do if we have the time next year, but it's always hard to get everybody together because everybody has other
Yeah.
lives. It's not like we just
Christian goes to
Coach
bed at like
CrossFit.
8 o'clock,
Right.
and then texts us at 4:30.
Yeah, I'm the only one up with him.
Yeah.
I'm usually up.
Yeah,
I'm
or
just not
she's getting up,
answering.
Yeah.
But,
I'm like
is-
reading,
is
and
if
I'm like,
we could,
okay.
because we did a pretty good job of testing the workouts, going through them,
Yeah.
and we did a walkthrough. I think if we did again is I would want to walk through them a couple more times, and
With
then
the
I would want to
volunteers.
do a walkthrough with judges there
Yeah.
also,
Mm-hmm,
and kind of like even if we just did a part of the workout to show them what it's going to
Mm-hmm.
look like.
Yeah.
That way, you're not really when we're briefing on the athletes on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's a refresher for the
Yeah.
judges,
Yeah.
and they're just up to speed. And I think they would get
More
the
benefit.
our judges would give us a lot of good questions about it that we
Yeah.
would
Right.
already be prepared to speak to.
Right.
Well, and then we could add it to the standards too, because
Mm-hmm.
that was the thing. I was like, no lifts during the 1 minute interval between the snatch and the clean and jerk, because there's always going to be that one person
Right.
that's like, I'm going to add weight and just get like a warm up weight before I
Right.
do my clean and jerks. Like you got to throw it out there.
Yeah.
And so
But we must have done okay because we didn't have a lot of questions.
No, we didn't.
After each
I think
when
we
we
did
briefed,
well
we didn't
explaining
have a lot of
everything.
questions.
I'll tell you what annoyed me though is like the briefs, people are standing there not asking questions. And then they get to the freaking lane and they're like, well, what about this? Well, what about this? I'm
yeah.
like,
didn't you just have
what
time to
is-
ask these questions?
Why are
You
you
know,
waiting till now?
I'll be honest though, in comps, I've done that too because I just don't think, or
Are you
I
basically-
Or you
think
get
of
stressed.
it, or I
That's
think about it later,
Yeah.
and I'm like, fuck. So I'll just ask the judge when I get
Yeah.
there, hey, did this and this, and just
Yeah.
you know.
Once again, that's asking.
but that's
your
what you
judge.
should do as an
Yeah,
athlete.
yeah.
You should ask.
You should ask. I'm glad that you're like, they're asking, but I'm also like, how can we mess up a squat? Like,
Yeah.
come on, guys. What are we?
Yeah.
What are you asking right now? Is this like a nervous tick? Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
But all in all, like, I think it was a good experience. It definitely, the first 2 days after, I was like, God, thank goodness
You
that's
also
over.
like ended up with the greatest weather
The greatest
end
weather.
of October.
80 degrees.
Like 50 degrees,
Yes.
50 degrees, 81. And I was like,
Beautiful sunny day.
Yeah, both days.
Yeah.
Next
Like-
year, there's going to be a hurricane. It's going to be the other
come on
extreme.
Don't
now.
say that. Don't say that.
But it was nice because everybody could set their tents up outside. Like the
Yeah.
parking lot was packed. And my husband got there. He's like, where do I park? And I was like, just find somewhere in the back. Don't hit a cat.
I was
Like,
excited.
There's
After I
plenty of them. You can
decompressed
hit
for
one.
2 days, I'm like, I'm ready for next year. Like, I'm ready. I'm thinking about next year.
I have
It's good you're
workouts, but I
pumped
know
up
you
about
want
it,
to do
like,
like games
Yeah,
workouts.
already. Yeah.
So-
Imagine if I was like,
not thinking
we
about it,
have
you're
to
like,
do this again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
Be
that's
fun.
that's a good sign.
the only bad part is you got to wait for the games
Yeah.
to
That's
plan the workouts.
Yeah, and I will say, like, I need to be better about this. Like, we waited a little bit to choose the workouts, and I could have been better on that. We could have made those decisions sooner. And that could probably help our advertising.
I
a
think
little
you
bit,
start
too.
writing them as you're watching the games.
Yeah, literally. Mm-hmm.
As you're thinking about it, and then we start kicking it around, and planning who's going to be there, and then
Yeah.
figure out the team of who's going to do what.
yeah.
You did a crap ton of work too, by the way.
Kelly did
You
the
I'm
most.
glad you jumped in.
Me
to
too,
help
because
us,
I would not have done
because
that much.
like all the paperwork and logistics.
Yeah.
20 pages of standards typed up.
Yeah.
Like I was literally, so it was like 2 weeks, I think, when I contacted you before. I
Yeah.
don't even know. And I was like, because I put together and did the whole thing pretty much by myself. Sponsors, everything in Charleston.
Yeah.
And like and I wanted to ask you, but I wasn't like, sometimes you're kind of like a coach, but how like in am I? Do I want to ask for help?
You're in, Kelly.
And then
Come on.
I know. But then I was like, Melissa's OCD. It's okay. She's like me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm going to ask. Because I'm very, like, nitpicky with especially, like, that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it has to be this or not at all.
You need to be though.
And so,
You have to be, yeah.
And so, but, sometimes, like, and I just say that because sometimes when people set stuff up, like I'm very like if I get in, it's like I think you were laughing because I was like, listen, I go to work and I sit in a trailer for 5 hours so I can type this shit up probably in 2. So what you need?
Kelly
And
offered
so,
that, I was like,
and
yes.
literally the next day I had like workout one
Pages,
done.
yeah.
And so and they were
Yeah.
probably like, what? Do you work? And then so and so
no, but at the same time,
keys are
I was
burning.
at work
Yeah.
doing the same thing. Like,
yeah. And so Christian
Oh,
was
that was
like
funny.
Christian was like, Kelly, what do you do on Google Docs? How did you put this diagram on
Christian,
here?
poor
She was
Christian
like-
could not
Yeah.
get the
He was
Google
like, I can't
figured
get
out.
this.
I'm sorry,
and so,
man.
And so I finally texted you because I thought about it and I was like, I'm gonna just ask. And I was like, hey, so I don't know if you need any help, but if you want some help with like standards or making score sheets or I don't even know, just let me
that's
know.
how I started. You're like, I'll do score sheets.
Yeah, and then she was like, no. And she was like, that'd be great. Christian already started. She was like, you've already ran one. I'd love to have another set of eyes. And I was like, okay, fine. So she's like, here's the group chat. Here's the Google Docs. I was like, oh man, they're
Send
like
it.
they're
Alright.
like pretty far. And I was like, we're gonna meet this Friday if you can come. I was like, sure. And so then I was like, I had all these notes down. That's why I
Kelly
was like,
was rolling.
She walked in with a
I walked in
clipboard
with
and a notepad.
Like
Ready to go,
I like
dude.
schematically.
It's Kelly's
I
show
told
now.
her.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
let's
texted
go.
her that morning. I was like, so I'm bringing my tape measure to the gym tomorrow so I can measure the square footage and I can get the lane setups correctly when we have our meeting today. If you just need to know that while I'm
I'm
explaining
sorry,
it.
my diagrams aren't to
Right.
scale.
No, they
but-
were.
Yeah,
I was
don't hold
like,
that.
They were to scale.
they were to scale.
Don't hold that
I was
against
like, 1 inch, because I was actually going to be like an architect major, so I was like 1 inch equals.
Oh my
1
gosh,
Sorry,
you didn't even
on
brief
draft
that in your
paper.
last
And so,
podcast.
I'm sorry. So, yeah, my mom wanted me to go to this Harvard class over the summer. I was like, it's my senior year. I'm not going there. So, but so like I had drew everything, and that's why I asked because at the end. That's why I was so confused when I came in and you had the 15 calories.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it 15 and 12? Because I thought you had all the RX teams, regardless if they were male, female, competing against each other. And that's why I was like, so why aren't they rolling 12?
Yeah, it's
the
not
females
fair.
are going to
Yeah.
take, and you were
Yeah.
like, no, we're giving out separate money. I was like, okay, now I feel a little better. And so I was like, okay, so schematically, we need like this. These are the size of the boxes. And thank God you taped them when you sent us that picture. I was like, praise Jesus. Because I was like, we would have been there on Friday night till 1 a.m. taping that whole floor if you had not done it yet.
I could not. I couldn't.
I
That
was
last
shocked at how
week,
fast y'all switched it over too. Like you guys ripped
Bruh.
up so much tape.
they
and
were
by-
moving.
It was like 45 minutes,
Yes.
and there was a whole new setup on the floor.
I was like panicked. My biggest panic the entire week. Like I trusted y'all with the standards. I trusted I knew we had a good team in place, but my micromanagement self was like, this floor has got to get laid out now, or I'm not going to sleep at night.
It made a huge difference, though.
It did. It really did.
Well, your meeting Friday night went so much smoother too, because if the floor wasn't laid out when
Couldn't
the judges
see
came
anything.
earlier and we were trying to explain it, that's why like when you guys were like drawing on the board trying to explain to me, and I'm like, what? I was like, this box,
Wait
and
a
where is
second.
this? This isn't working. And you're like, no, and I'm like,
I'm processing, but
okay, so it's not a box, it's a line, and I was whoo, and so it made it. I think it
Bring
made
it
it easier
together.
for them, because that's the thing. Like we had been looking at the standards or whatever for 2 weeks, and I was like, you're telling somebody that comes in Friday night to be like, okay, so this is it, and they're probably like, what
Yeah, it's gonna go
the?
over their head.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
could- like if you can jump in next year to help, you'll love it, because the detail oriented piece of it, you'll be all about it. And
Cancel insurance already.
I'm going to try to keep it the same weekend every year. I might
'Cause then
change it
it's
a
an
little
anniversary
bit.
for the gym,
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
and-
Depends on how it falls, right? But I like that time of year too.
Well, it's not like really cold yet. You can still get that nice weather like we got, but usually it's around like 60 or 70, and that's like perfect, because when it's too cold, everybody wants to sit inside, and then you run out of room in like
Yeah,
the
you
warm up
can't.
area or
Yeah.
whatever. And so it
I wonder
worked
if
out
somebody
really well.
else is going to change their comp to make it harder, their dates.
I hope not. That'd be
Get it out
disrespectful.
now. Get it out now and said, hey.
That'd be disrespectful.
I was pretty upset with another comp in the area.
Did they have one at the same time?
2 weeks prior.
2 weeks prior?
I don't think it affected though, because I knew a few people
No,
that.
and I mean, like I say
did
that,
yours
like I
Was
was.
instead.
the one that Megan went to?
It was
No.
Kilo.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like I mean,
Megan
like
Johnson did.
Not that
They were always in
Where was that
September.
I thought so
Stimulus.
too.
No,
That's
they
why I
were.
did
And They were
October.
always the last weekend of September, because that's my wedding anniversary, and I
And
could
we've
never
done.
do it.
I did it before too, and like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they didn't think like it.
There was one year they did it differently, and I think it was something to do with COVID. Or
Yeah,
they, or
I was
they were gonna
annoyed,
try to
right?
do it
Because it's like a
twice.
comp 2 weeks before us in the same area. But like, let's be honest, it's not like they did that maliciously. It was just annoying. That's the only
I don't think
thing.
somebody would not compete in one or the other because they did one. or the other,
Agreed,
you know?
agreed. A lot of people I think did
You I
both.
hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and get my dates out soon, so we can just lay claim to that time.
Yeah, just add more to your list of to-do list.
Yeah. I don't want to think about it. I thought like I will say though, this week I've tried not to do too much, and I'm like, okay, I'm bored. I need to do something. I've been working for all
Jumped
these
in a class
things.
this week, too.
Yeah, I jumped into class. Okay, that was personal.
How many times did you do it? It's twice this
Twice
week.
this
Wednesday
week.
and
Yeah.
for today,
I would
right?
like to do more classes. Like I try to practice
love
what I
those programming
preach.
sessions.
Yeah,
They're
I
the
like
cycle that we're in
they're
now.
really fun, and I like our coaches to take classes. Y'all know that, and I want to take more myself. But leading up to that, I couldn't. I didn't
just
have
like
time.
it when they program back squats or front squats.
We're gonna be seeing
at
that
least-
a lot,
at least
Kelly.
once a week.
There's back squats next week.
I
Yep.
know.
5x5.
On Thursday, that's my
And we
day
front
off.
squatted
I'm
today.
gonna have to do it
Yep.
on like Friday. I know I did that.
So you should be happy.
I did. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. As long as
She
it's
is-
programmed,
she is happy.
As long as it's programmed once a week, so I don't have to figure out when I'm going to
When
do it
you're gonna
after
do
a
it,
workout.
yeah.
That's better. But yeah, like next week is Thursday, and I'm like, that's my
Yeah.
day off, so I'm gonna have to find another day to do it. But
All
that's
right.
all right. I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. That's
I'm
right.
gonna do it because that's how we get strong.
That's it.
But yeah, I like today's workout.
All right, you want to capture anything else here? Anything
Oh,
else you
Dan,
want to put up?
what's your most sport you're
Scared
Oh
to
yeah,
play.
we got to back up.
Sport I'm scared to play.
Yeah.
Do we need to tell you ours?
Chris's
so you
is
can-
Yeah.
bowling.
Mine's bowling.
Why?
Thank
Because
you.
I'm deathly afraid. I will bowl. I'm horrible at it. But all I think about is my finger getting ripped off and going down the lane in the bowling ball.
Yeah, she took her thing off.
I know. I just don't want to lean forward.
That's a good idea.
I know.
Change it up. Yeah, bowling, dude.
Bowling.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Now.
Melissa's is football because she doesn't want to get trucked.
Okay, imagine Dan running at me at full speed.
Yeah.
I would shit my pants.
You got to be an ankle biter.
I would lay down. I would move out of your way.
Skateboarding. I don't want to eat it on
Like in
pavement.
the X Games, she doesn't want to be.
I don't
in
want
that.
to. I don't want to eat it on pavement.
Yeah.
Dan's like, I'm unafraid of anything.
No.
Did I turn my mic off when I did that?
Or
No.
like, what am I most afraid of?
Okay, well, how about this?
We also had that question.
What are you afraid
What are you
of?
most afraid of, and then the sport you're most afraid of?
Chris said bugs.
I don't like bugs, dude.
Yeah, I don't like snakes, man.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I don't like
not
snakes
a big
either.
snake
Snakes
guy.
to me are in the bug category.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
I'm
with
getting
that.
some April Fool's ideas in my head.
Yeah, you're gonna die. You ever had 4 flat
You
tires?
know what? You know what April Fool's is for Melissa. doing a LeBron James with the chalk all over. That's a little April Fool's rumor, Melissa.
You guys,
All right, I think I got my.
I will
spirit.
panic.
Okay, what is it?
Skydiving.
Skydiving?
Same. I don't want to do that
Yeah,
either.
I don't like
no.
heights. Yeah, that's not.
No,
that's
plummeting
Plummeting to
tough.
earth at
It's
terminal
nice though
velocity.
because I'm above the weight limit to go tandem with somebody, so I can.
Are you
Oh,
really?
really?
There's a weight limit?
Yeah, it's
You
like
could say-
220.
I didn't know that.
I
but the
would,
thing is,
I'm
but
too
yeah,
heavy.
I had no
for me,
idea there was a
guys.
weight limit.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, for like the tandem stuff, there's a weight limit.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't do
Oh,
it.
you cut
Which
down,
is
you might
like-
be in there
No,
now.
I'm not.
But
I don't
I
heard that line. Yeah. Cannot do it. Won't do it.
Not that anybody's like.
don't know
strict-
if I
like,
want to do a
if
tandem
you're pressuring
though.
me to go
Like, how do
skydiving,
you
but-
land and
to.
somebody's on your back? Like
Yeah,
They
you-
land
on
once
you.
you take like a class, you have to take
You
a
know what
class
you need?
Yeah.
by
You need a
yourself.
you need a dwarf skydiving instructor.
Oh my
Sounds like
and
a
you could
terrible
just
idea.
wear them like a
Oh,
backpack.
God, I knew you were gonna say that.
We've lost it.
let's go.
We've gone off the rails. Yeah, so they land for you, and you have to pick your feet up.
I got a hobbit on my back.
Man, they gotta be pretty freaking strong. They gotta be pretty freaking strong.
Nah, you just fall.
Yeah, no, you walk together and then
When you land, like they land for you, but you basically just land on your butt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
it's like a slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do heights, so I don't even
I ain't
think I
doing that
could.
neither. Count me out.
Yeah.
Snakes and skydiving are a no-go for Dan. Is
Got it.
skydiving a sport though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know someone that's like
It's all about how big
Skydove?
your
Skydove? Is that-
I think that's
or
it.
whatever, and you can like smaller canopy, you can do more crazy stuff.
Yeah. I know a lady that would like go skydiving on the reg. Like she loved it. She did it all the time. Like that was her adrenaline sport.
Craziness. That's nuts.
And she like, to be fair,
Bungee jumping? No,
Oh,
bro.
Oh yeah, hard. I think I choose
Hard
bungee jumping
pass.
over.
Hard pass.
I think I would choose skydiving.
No, like I
did-
would choose.
What
I
is
like,
it?
I like bungee jumping less.
Is it Busch
Agreed.
I would
Gardens?
rather
Is it
bungee
Busch
jump- or
Gardens
I'd
that has the
rather-
big
I
like?
would rather skydive.
But you
swing
can't anyway,
thing?
so
That
you're
you, I
safe.
did that. I did that when I was young with two of my friends. We all three of us were on it. The 200-foot like swing thing.
I've done that.
Never did it again.
What
I've
could
done
go
that.
wrong with bungee
They made me
jumping?
pull the ripcord. I was like, y'all
Chris,
some
you know what can
pansies.
go
What could go wrong?
You're not gonna come back up.
I
That
don't know,
thing
yeah.
snapped.
Do you
That's
think?
what my
Will
mom
you
said.
die?
Or
It's
Yeah.
supposed to
Then
hold
it's
or
not
you
gonna
s-
hurt.
Or you snap up.
It's supposed to
and you go
hold like
flying somewhere
5,000
else.
pounds or something. I don't even know. My mom's
Could
like,
you
you don't know
imagine?
who's been on that before.
They
You, I
just
was like, yes, the
yeeted you?
2,000-pound man.
So then what you need to do
Right.
is kill
It's
two
gonna be
birds with
all
one
right.
stone, okay? You bungee jump with a parachute. So
Oh
if
my
you
God.
get yeeted,
Okay, if you get yeeted, that's fair. But if you just get
you're dead. You won't care. You're
look,
gone,
you
you're
have a
done.
chance of surviving skydiving.
Listen.
Yeah, maybe she wants an
yeah,
open casket.
I don't know.
All right, that shit's gone.
I want an open casket.
Yeah, that's gone with
Sam,
Not
put
no
that in my
hope.
will. I want an open casket.
You put you in a jar because you'll be liquefied.
Oh my God. Jeez, this.
Well, that's it for today, folks.
And so
right.
most scared of
Oh my
snakes.
gosh.
Yeah.
Snakes and
I don't like roller
skydiving.
coasters either, but that's another thing.
So you
What
know
is
what's
it?
funny?
Oh, I don't like roller coasters.
We're off the rails now, so we'll just go. When I was younger, I loved roller coasters.
I can't do
love
that much
the adrenaline
anymore.
of it, right? Now, I
I'm not
don't.
interested.
Really?
I'll do it, but I would
mean-
rather not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when we were in
So-
Vegas, my son made me do.
Oh, the
one
sky
of
coaster, whatever it is. So yeah, so I used to love roller
Dude, I was
coasters
terrified.
and all that stuff because the Jersey Shore, it's like the fair. They have those
Yeah.
rides all the
Mm-hmm.
time, and I went on Gravitron, the thing that spins really fast, and I did it like multiple times. And my last time, I flipped upside down, big mistake, and so I threw up like right after. Ever since that ride, no, like you could just like the propulsion, and so you're like trying to put my feet and like go like this up against the railing and stuff, and I went upside down. After that, going upside down, I threw up, and then I was like, never again, and it messed me up for the rest of my life. Roller coasters, everything, I get like dizzy or something. It just doesn't
We
work.
did the one that you go up in Vegas, where you go up in the big tower, right?
Yeah.
And there's people all facing each other in these two-person seats.
Yeah.
And then the arm goes out
Yeah.
off the building and then just starts
Hell
spinning,
Spinning,
and
yeah.
then it opens up. So
No.
you're like looking down at the
No,
ground.
bro.
And I was
Hard
just
pass.
like, well, if this thing comes undone,
It's
at least I won't
pancake.
live. I'm done. They're like, that's it. Don't have to pay no more bills.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Because the taxes are crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I don't like roller coasters no more, man. It just doesn't even interest me. I used to get excited about them. Now
Yeah. No, I was the same.
I think I've tempted fate enough that I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh man.
I'm a scaredy cat. I don't do stuff like that. I like roller coasters, but I don't tempt fate that much.
I think I'm okay with like the old school wooden
Wooden
ones.
ones, 'cause you don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
to sit down or nothing.
But when you start corkscrewing and
Those
spinning,
hurt.
or
They
They
when you
hurt.
can't
They like
see,
jostle you
Yeah,
a lot.
you're
The
like-
wooden ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
I actually like to either be in the front or the back though on those ones because I either want to see where I'm going or in the back.
The back whips you.
Bam.
Yeah, they get like
Yeah.
injuries.
The ass end of the slinky.
All right. So on a roller coaster, do you hold your arms up?
Yes.
I can't tell you.
So you've never even rode one at all?
I've ridden a roller coaster before, yeah.
Yeah, but you're just there terrified.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't like it. For me, it's like the yeah, I don't know. I don't like the feeling of it.
See, I could never put my arms up because not that I was always afraid my arms. I know they've measured it out, and there's probably like a good 6 feet of clearance.
Oh, you mean
but I was
from if it's
always
overhead
scared.
or
Yeah.
something?
All right, so
It's
we
the
know
same-
Chris's irrational fear.
Yes.
He's getting his arms.
Okay,
chopped off.
so
And my
Losing
fingers
his
in bowling.
fingers in bowling.
most
I don't wanna lose
irrational.
any
He's not.
digits,
He's
man.
not worried about crushing his face on bungee jumping.
No, not at
most
all.
irrational. And people, my friends make fun of this all the time. Anytime I fly on a plane, I bring a Ziploc bag so I can put my phone in it. So if we land in the water, my phone stays okay, and I can swim to an island and call somebody. I'm the one that's saving us all, so you can laugh.
Kelly, your iPhone is waterproof.
But you don't know how low, deep in the ocean we're going, and I'm not
And
taking
you think
chances.
you're gonna be making a
I'm not taking any chances.
I'm pretty sure that the ocean is the same depth because you're gonna land on the top. You're not.
You
gonna,
never know.
So if it goes way down, are you going down to get it?
No,
Kelly?
I'm not. But I'm gonna put it like in my sports bra or something, so it stays in there, and I ain't gotta worry about
You're
it.
just
But
gonna
now
watch
it's,
the plastic
it's not gonna
bag
get
float
wet.
away.
You never know. They say
I can
it's
see
waterproof.
Kelly now. She's like
and
calling.
say- They say. They say it's
The
waterproof.
first person
But
she's
it
gonna
might
call is
not
Chris.
be.
She's gonna be like, "Guess where I'm at? It wasn't so stupid after all."
Right. And she'd be like, I gotta go. I gotta call Dan too.
I'm gonna text the whole group chat and be like, "Ha
I
Well, do you know,
saved us
out
all."
in the middle of the ocean, you got no signal. Well, at least I can play Candy Crush.
It's like that Shane Gillis skit where he's like, "You guys suck or you're dumb."
Don't laugh.
That's so funny. My
I'm just
cheeks
saying.
hurt.
I don't think I have an irrational fear.
You just named 3 of them.
Are they irrational?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I
Come
think getting your
on.
finger ripped off is legit.
No. The roller coaster.
I mean,
one
I've
is
seen
for
that,
sure.
but not like in a
Well, with
bowling
my
ball.
Yeah,
arms.
maybe if I wanted
True.
to get my
I've
True.
seen it. I've
Very
seen it in
true.
like
Much
football
more rational.
more.
Huh?
I've seen it in football more, where they get their finger stuck in somebody's helmet and
I don't know if I have an irrational fear. I
Seen
don't
dude
like
get
the
their face
word
mashed up
panties.
together, that's fun.
Like I hate when people say that.
Is that so? Now we're gonna go down the pet peeves.
That's an irrational ick.
Irrational ick.
Yeah.
I
You don't like the word
that.
panties?
No.
So what do you say if you have to go
that's
shopping
like
for?
crotch rocket
Underwear.
or whatever. You say pocket rocket.
Pocket rocket. Underwear or like my briefs, my drawers. Like I don't know. I do not like.
Draws checks out.
I don't like panties. Ew.
Does it feel dirty?
It's gross. It's just nasty when you say it. Right? Like you don't feel that way? Mm. Don't like it. If
That's
somebody
kinda
starts
funny.
saying that all the time, I don't know. It just bothers me.
I'm gonna start telling you when you're in a bad mood, get your panties out of a bunch.
They're in a wad. I'll tell you that much.
Look at all this chalk on the floor.
Uncomfortable.
All right, we got any other goofiness to go over before we cut this?
Okay, Dan. If you know where I'm going, would you rather your head be the size of a tennis
Oh, I
ball
heard this one from the last
or a
one.
watermelon, and why?
A watermelon. Because then I
Thank
just
you.
get jacked, and it's proportional. Otherwise, like they said, if your voice is going to be proportional. with
It'll be
your head, so-
squeaky.
Oh my god. How's it going? Oh my god, that's so.
Kelly, what about you? Did you answer that on your
I
podcast?
think you answered it. I think you asked me. I
No, it
think,
was Justin and
It was
AJ's
just Justin and AJ, right?
yeah, I said I think I would do watermelon too.
Samesies.
I know
Okay.
you said because of food, which is very.
I want to be able to eat.
Yeah.
Get traps to the moon, and you'll be good. It'll fit in.
Could they just shrink the food and then you can
You look
eat
like
it?
Chandler Smith.
Yeah, I mean, I've eaten a normal human's head size
Yeah,
watermelon.
he's like super jacked.
Who?
Chandler.
Smith. His traps, I swear to you.
You know he
they
only
touch
has
his
he has
ears.
like one less finger.
Yeah.
And he still
He's
cleans
also
all
in a
that way.
bowling accident.
Oh, so wrong.
Get it,
So
that's
wrong.
it. You know what?
That's it for episode 7. Great job, Dan. I'm glad we had
Hey,
you come
someone
down.
sign us off. Someone sign us off with the saying.
Stay gritty.
Oh yeah, stay
gritty.
gritty. And your husband owes me money
Why?
because he used that as his team name for Fittest of the Coast. So he owes me the royalties.
Yeah, I didn't want to put a little T on it.
Royalties.
Yeah, I forgot to
He owes me 10% of the check if they
10%.
podium.
Yeah, if he wins.
Ooh, okay. The
Oh,
gym
yeah.
needs that really. So
We got people training. We got 5 teams going to Fittest to the
Yeah,
Coast,
I
plus
wanna
an
post about
independent.
it.
And that's what I told her. I was like, let me get this right. When I saw this Instagram post, I was like, did the girl that just had a baby 9 weeks ago qualify for
Bridget?
Fittest
Seven.
on the Coast?
7
7
weeks.
Hold on, I gotta
weeks.
get
7
one of these
weeks.
in here, guys.
Dog.
I was like,
Absolute.
I was like,
Dog.
I feel so poor about my life
Weak.
right now. I was
Right.
like,
Bridget's an animal, man. She did a great job. I'm gonna make a post about our teams going.
'Cause, like,
but I didn't want it to be
Yeah,
like
The
I'm worried about my
overshadowed.
fingers in a bowling ball, and she's holding her
the
uterus in.
workout started like 4 weeks ago, didn't they? So she was like 3 weeks postpartum.
She was 4 weeks postpartum when Fittest of the
That's
Coast started.
unreal. And not
Yeah.
everybody should be able to do that, so don't think
No.
you can. But I was just like, holy crap, man.
I want them to get their spotlight, so I didn't want to post about it until after I tried it. I didn't want it to be overshadowed because we got a
you
good
like
group.
that's what I was like.
All
You
right,
need to
so
get.
before we sign off, your to-do list priorities today are number 1.
Remember, post the episode with Kelly at
Yep.
6:30. I
Right.
got 3 hours, and my other. Well, I won't do it in the same day because that's tacky. But I'll post about our athletes for Fittest of the Coast.
No, do both. It's
No,
not tacky.
no, it is.
No,
See,
you gotta-
the
you gotta
Okay,
spread
so
it out.
today is
Yeah.
the podcast.
Classic marketing right there.
and
Okay.
it's not even marketing; it's just like engagement. People will scroll past it.
Yeah.
You can't if you overpost. It's a lot of stuff that you don't think about, but
She has to do social media now, so she's got to think
yeah,
about
so I
those
gotta think
things.
about that.
All
So
right.
I'll post it this weekend. I gotta find the right
That's
time.
when everybody will see it. Anyway.
Yeah, the engagement. I gotta find the right engagement.
Okay.
But
All right. You got to get home. You got to coach tomorrow,
Yeah.
right? Both
I gotta
classes.
coach tonight.
Yep, you better go.
I gotta
Ali,
eat too,
Ali and
so-
CrossFit. Ali and CrossFit tomorrow.
We're ending on time when I knew you had to coach, so we're
That's
good.
right. That's right.
All right. All right, you guys. Have a good weekend. I'll see you in the morning to
Yeah.
work out. Stay gritty.
Stay
gritty.
gritty.